2025. Good morning. My name is Victor. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya, and I hope that you are ready up and early with us once again. Karibu sana. How was your night? Are you ready for the day? Let's do this. It's going to be an interesting discussion here on Saturday. Today I want us to talk about politics. It's been a bit of some time that we've not talked about politics, but today I want us to take a look at really what's happening in the country, just taking a 360-degree angle of what's happening in the country and, if possible, across our borders. My name is Victor. You can get me on social media platforms at Victor. Everywhere, utanipata huko. Let's talk, let's interact, and at KBC Channel 1. Okay, so today, at being the Tuesday, my guest will be in studio very shortly, and I want us to take a look at what is really happening across the country. My guest will be Peter Mutuku Mutua, who is a governance expert, Dr. Joseph Rotich, who is an economist by profession and political commentator, as well as Honorable Francis Mwangangi, who is a deputy governor of Machakos County. That will be happening shortly, and I'll also be taking you through the front pages of our local dailies, which is basically going to be forming a part of discussion. A lot is happening in the country. Raila's 2027 polls game plan unfolds. That is what I have here on the front page of the Star newspaper. Take a look at that. Raila's 2027 polls game plan unfolds. That is what I have. And yes, counties in turmoil, governors, MCAs, squabbles, stall services. That's again on the front page of the Star newspaper. I'll get you more details there. And on the Daily Nation, eyes on judiciary. That is on the front page of the Daily Nation. Eyes on judiciary as the state turns up the heat on critics. That is now, and according to the Daily Nation, the only arbiter here, or the referee, or the savior, is the judiciary. And now the government has been accused of weaponizing the justice system to intimidate and silence dissent. So that is also the front page. The gentleman on the front page is Boniface Mwangi, who was apprehended over the weekend and spent the entire weekend in custody and presented yesterday before a judge in Kahawa Magistrates Courts, and he was released yesterday. And Boniface Mwangi was yesterday charged with unlawful possession of ammunition. He was granted a 1 million shillings personal bond. That is what is here. More details I'll be giving you shortly. And still on the front page of the Standard, cornered by public. That is what's on the front page of the Standard newspaper, cornered by public. Okay. The two gentlemen is Renson Ingonga, who is the DPP, and of course the DCI director, Mr. Amin. So the two gentlemen on the front page of the Standard newspaper. Let me give you an explainer. A flood of disapproval from an increasingly frustrated citizenry yesterday pushed the struggling director of public prosecutions to drop the far-fetched terrorism charge against rights activist Boniface Mwangi. The DPP later issued a press statement defending the decision to level such bizarre charges against activists, critics of the Ruto administration and protesters after the DCI's terrorism claims against Mwangi failed the test and were dropped from the charge sheet. Kenyans now want the outrageous charges against 37 others withdrawn as well. That is what I have on the front page of the Standard. Okay, I want us to take a quick break, and I'm going to take you through the inner details of the newspapers. And let's take that a quick break. Let me leave you with quote of the day as well as did you know? Take a look. Very good. Quote of the day, Ed, did you know? Okay, let me take you through the details of the three newspapers. Raila's 2027 polls game plan unfolds. That was I have here on the front page of the Star newspaper. Strategy meant to rebrand his image and to rebuild grassroots support. That is Raila's game plan and now unfolds ahead 2027. The story is detailed for you on page 4 and page 5, which says that Raila ODM 2027 game plan exposed, as he also prepares ODM Raila Odinga's renewed call for a national referendum, and a people-led dialogue is drawing intense political scrutiny, with party insiders and critics viewing it as a calculated move to re-enter the political limelight ahead of the 2027 general election. During his Sabasaba Day address, the former Prime Minister proposed that the outcome of the planned national quote-unquote conclave be subjected to a plebiscite, that is a referendum, while the move is also framed as a citizen-driven reform agenda. Insiders within ODM say that it is part of a broader strategy to rebrand Raila's image, rebuild grassroots support, and strategically reposition himself for a possible 6th run for the presidency. Okay, that is what is here. And let me just quote what Gladys Wanga, who is the governor of Homa Bay County, said, that our position is, let people talk. Nothing can be resolved if people are given a chance to express themselves. That is according to Gladys Wanga, who is the national chair of ODM party. Now, unlike the contentious Building Bridges initiative, Raila is branding the latest effort as a constitutionally grounded and entirely citizen-led. He previously used a referendum in 2005 as a political springboard, defeating then-President Mwai Kibaki's camp before becoming or coming close to unseating him in the 2007 presidential race. That is what is here. A lot is happening in the country, politically speaking, and they say that still waters run deep. Okay, let's come back to the first page. City traders saddled with the debts, depression in protest aftermath. This is something that we've discussed here after the protest. Now, what else? And now many people are still reeling in a lot of pain. Businesses are intimidated to lose up to 3 billion shillings per day in looting and foregone sales. That is what is here. 3 billion shillings. That is a lot of money. And so now, for a year, many of the business people in the city who did not have, who did not insure their business premises are now actually struggling to get back on their feet. 20 years jail term for man who killed wife. Autopsy revealed swelling, multiple cuts, bleeding, and blunt force trauma. And now, Esther Chepkwon's final Valentine's Day was one of pain, not red roses. Her life ended in a pool of blood outside her rural Nakuru home after a night of alleged beating by her husband. 9 years later, the Court of Appeal in Nakuru has upheld Chepkwon's conviction and 20-year prison sentence for murdering his wife on the night of February 14th, 2016. The appellate judgment was delivered on July 11th. So the gentleman will be in for 20 years. All right. Very quickly, on the inner pages of the Star newspaper, let's get it. Wrangling MCAs, governors derail services at counties. This is something that we've been witnessing since the inception of the devolved units. Projects executed in a fragmented manner as deep-seated mistrust festers, and now it's just because of a toxic mix of power struggles and supremacy battles and political blackmail between county executives and assemblies is actually severely delaying critical service delivery across multiple devolved units. And now the newspaper can see that, you know, MCAs and the governors are actually embroiled in bitter feuds, stalling the passage of essential county budgets and also development plans and crippling public services. This is something that I think many governors are struggling with, that they need to be at par, or really need to be having it very well with the MCS for them to pass different budgets in the respective counties, assemblies, and according to the control of budget, that is Nyakango, Margaret Nyakango, she described the relationship between some county executives and assemblies as dysfunctional and convoluted, with political rivalry often taking precedence over citizen needs. So what are some of the counties that are affected? These are Bungoma, Machakos, Isiolo, Nyamira, and Meru, which are grappling with active or recent standoff between the executive and legislative arms of government, undermining day-to-day operations. Of course, the Deputy Governor of Machakos is here. He will help us to answer that. Other counties include Kilifi, Wajir, Nandi, Kakamega, and Kericho that have also experienced infighting, fueled either by executive interference in assembly operations or internal power wrangles among MCS. That is what I have here. Allow me to shake his hand. He's already. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. Okay, we'll just get back to that. Gen Z protest at risk of being hijacked by politicians, say KHRC, that is Kenya Human Rights Commission. Free surgeries offer hope to Kisumu, cleft lip, and that's what's happened here. All right, so let me get into the front page of the Daily Nation. Eyes on judiciary as state turns up the heat on critics. Scale of justice, where judicial independence in the country is facing a litmus test following calls by the executive to mete out harsh penalties on opposition politicians, anti-government protesters, and civil society activists, some of who are facing terrorism charges and have been slapped with hefty bail terms and bond as well over their alleged involvement in recent youth-led protests. Now, will the judiciary succumb to this push or abide by the law and the Constitution? That is a big Q on the front page of the Daily Nation. You must prove your contribution to claim matrimonial assets, judge tells spouses. So if you cannot prove, please don't get into that fight. When political seats become a family affair, leaders perpetuating politics of inheritance. Okay? So when it comes to the issue of Shakahola, which we've actually witnessed in the past, is there a case of Shakahola too? Cult horror resurfaces in Kilifi. Over 2 years ago, 400 people were feared dead in the Shakahola tragedy, in which cult followers were encouraged to starve themselves to death to get to heaven. Let me get to the front page of the Standard very fast. Cornered by public, and now DCI boss, and DPP, Renson Ingonga. Let's get into the inner pages of the Standard newspaper. Murder in Ward 7B, mysterious Kalombotole and KNH horror. That is what I have here on the front page of the Standard. For 3 years, a man with no ID, no relatives, and no known history lived inside Kenya's largest referral hospital. For 3 years, no ID, no relatives, and no known history. Okay, now he stands accused in 2 murders, each involving a slit throat, the same word, and chilling silence from authorities. All right, this thing, something should be properly investigated. Deputy Governor of Machakos, Honorable Francis Mwangangi, is already here. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
And also Peter Mutuku, who is a governor's expert, also joining me on set. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Kenya.
You're well?
Very well.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Now that you are the one to say good morning last. How is Kenya doing? Now that we said good morning, Kenya, how is Kenya doing generally?
Different. We see Kenya from different precincts.
Yes.
And so whatever I'm going to say is my opinion.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There are things that are not happening as a citizens wish, and even the leadership. And I hope each one of us is doing his best to correct the situations or to make better what is good. Yeah.
Okay. So that is opinion, according to how Kenya is doing?
I said whatever I'm going to say, it's my personal opinion.
Yes.
And that remains so, in the sense that in my observation, there are things that ought to be better than they are. And some things need to have picked up. They have not picked up. There is confusion in this nation because we are already doing a lot of politics, 2 years to election.
Yes.
More than 2 years to election. A lot of politics from across the divide. So, for my, in my personal opinion, that brings about some confusion. And as we progress in this program, we'll be saying much more about my opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely. Honorable Mwangangi, I mean, it's been a very tough one for us. Last 2 months to speak, it's not been easy for us in the country. As a leader, what have you observed ever since we met on this set sometimes back now? What's happening across?
Thank you, Victor. It's complicated because
that's just what 2 words. It's complicated.
It's complicated because I think we have intolerant leadership, and this is not only political side.
Yes.
It's almost all in all areas. We have a leadership that is not ready to be held to account, especially those of us who have an opportunity to be in the office by way of being elected. And that complicates everything. Because if we listened, if we engaged each other with a lot of sincerity, if we said things as they are,
yes,
most likely the country could not be where we are. But democratization continues. It is not dependent on any particular leader.
Yeah.
It is not dependent on any MCA, nor any president. Kenya is here to stay. Because if it is leaders, we have had so many since independence. So some of us are still also learning from the current, comparing with the previous ones, and moving forward, because we have a country to take care of. Yes.
Okay. The president was in your county over the weekend, and he said that parenting is one of the biggest issues that we are facing as a country, and now there are people who are feeling the protest that we've been gone through for the last few months, 2-3 months or 1 year, let's say, from last year. There are people who are actually feeling that. But the biggest one is parenting. Do you believe that? I mean, you are in the political circles, and when you see Kenyans demonstrating across the country, and the president said it's parenting.
I have a different opinion. I think that is gospel according to Kenya Kwanza, which they have the right to. I don't think so. Because, Victor, because the issue of parenting is being used to justify violations of human rights, forced disappearances, murdering, slaughtering our youth. It's just I think the government is looking for an excuse to justify their actions. Remember, this is the only administration since Kenya started that has done what it has done. When you are talking of abductions, I don't think we have another government that has done this kind of thing before. Forced disappearances, shooting of our youths, slaughtering Kenyans. This is the only administration that has done so since independence. There is no another. So I think they are looking for scapegoats. When it comes to parenting, I think time has changed. Don't expect the same way I was brought up. When I was I was brought to this world by way of being given birth. Things were not the way they are today. A lot has changed. So don't expect people to live as they lived yesterday.
Yeah.
So we need to learn more to accommodate each other and move forward. I would say, is that the reason why this government, whatever they promised during their campaigns, when you look at it keenly, you examine, they have gone 360 degrees opposite. Name it at random. Because when it comes to institutional reform, we know where the last government left. You can look around. Even I wish we could open this building here, and you just show your cameras just behind us here. You will see an expressway, a very beautiful one, courtesy of the last government, Uhuru Kenyatta's administration. What can we see as we sit here? So I think we are trying to look for scapegoats, as far as I'm concerned, to justify our actions. And to those of us in political leadership, in other leadership, it's a matter of time that somebody else will come and be held to account.
Okay.
Yes.
Peter, when you hear what the DG has said, and let's just go back, the government is quite strong on seeking to cripple the critics, and it's world over. It's world over. But what does that really show? That the kind of critics that we have in the country, is it a healthy one or is it a healthy one? And how, it's a very thin line between the government and the critics, and how to operate in between that space, so that there is no sense of human rights violation and also keeping the rule of law.
Well, first of all, let me go back to the issue of parenting.
Yes. When
the head of state, our president that we elected, that is a symbol of unity, says in the public that Gen Z's problem is parenting. I would disagree with that, because each parent makes sure that takes care of the kids. And what happens is that information, and a lot of it is out there. These children, they know much than our times. But let's go back to critics. When a state finds that it's not ready to be questioned, and then it meets some serious torture and many constraints, disruptions on citizens, and decides that when you criticize the leadership, it is classified as terrorism, disruption, intention to throw the government. Such kind of adjectives will not help this nation. And as my deputy governor here said, that the intolerance itself is at its peak.
Yes. That
we do not tolerate one another. And when in a nation where we cannot tolerate one another, there's a nation that is headed in the wrong direction. So where we have found and we have seen critics, and then the problem is, even in criticizing, there are also some people who have gone overboard, because...
just continue.
Because when we are given, also, we need also to have constraints, all of us.
Yes.
When we are given, for example, an opportunity to come here in this telecast, we are supposed to work and deal within the confines of the rules and regulations that control this. So even when people have been given the freedom to criticize, let us also criticize in a civil manner. And when you criticize, let's have substance. And when it's substance, then do not be punished for saying the truth, no matter how bitter it is. Yes.
Okay. Dr. Joseph Rotich, good morning.
Good morning, hello. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good to see you.
I'm here to stay.
No, we are all here to stay. We are all here to stay. Welcome to the program. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Joseph Rotich is an economist by profession and also a political commentator. We are just starting our discussion, joining us now. Let's go back to what the president said. It's about poor parenting. You are failing as a parent. That's why our kids on the street, Dr.
Hey, hello.
Have you failed?
I totally agree with His Excellency, the President.
So you failed as a parent?
We have failed as parents. When we talk about we, you, we mean we as Kenyans. Because when we see what's happening in this country, I overheard you talking about the criticism. I think what we do encourage is constructive criticism.
All right.
Criticism also with courtesy. Criticism with the, I oversaw what the Tanzanians are saying about us. That Kenyans are too clever, and they are too clever even to do things which cannot be done even in their own country. Because criticizing the president in Tanzania is almost a taboo, but it's not like that in this country. So while we are well read when it comes to the law itself, Kenyans are well informed. But this unguarded wisdom, unguarded knowledge that our people, our children are actually being bombarded with. Any knowledge, any civilization must be guarded within the law, so that it becomes constructive, so that it becomes something that will help the country itself. Because when you see, what the president actually meant is that when we see the kind of activities, the responses that our youth are actually employing, it is quite disgusting. Is that what we learn in school? Because it is like, because when you talk about parenting, we also go, by extension, it goes to our schools. What are we teaching our children? What manners are we teaching our children? So we need to be a disciplined nation. We need to be a disciplined family. Even from the very beginning, the parent himself or herself must be the beginner of education to the children. So what we need to say is that we need to have our children being respectful, not only to their parents, being respectful to their fellow citizens, so that we handle ourselves as people who are civilized, people who are non-destructive, people who can criticize with the constructor. You criticize to build, you don't criticize to destroy. So, as my brother said, that we don't need to punish our children when they criticize. I don't see when you talk about punishing, I think what is punishable in this country also, is not about the criticism. What is punishable is the destruction of people's properties. That is where the law really comes in. It is not about how many people have actually been abusing the president? Just by utterances. A young boy talking all sorts of things. There was a time when even one of our sons had to put the president in a coffin. What sort of parenting is that? It is un-African, it's untraditional. Yeah. Where you put a whole head of state under some coffin sort of. What does that tell you, Olo? What does that indicate about the backdrop of our cultural background, the backdrop of our taboos? What is it that we are feeling about the leadership of this country? Okay. And even not only that, even the parents. So the same thing that is happening to leadership is the same thing that will also turn back to their own, the parents themselves.
Where are they getting all these examples from, Dr.
As my brother said, the world is now becoming a global village. Our children are well read. And even what I can inform you, as I heard the Tanzanians talking, the young generation of Tanzanians, they are saying Kenyans are far ahead in understanding the Constitution. They understand their rights.
So you are absolutely right. Kenyans understand the Constitution. So yes. Let's take up that point for a minute. So if I picket, according to Article 37, all right? So why should I be shot?
While I agree with you about picketing a law, this country, the Constitution itself allows picketing. They allow demonstration. They allow free associations. They allow all sorts of things that we can imagine within the brackets of the law. But it does not allow destruction, burning of people's properties, looting of people's properties, doing all sorts of things. That is not what is in our Constitution. But they say, the Constitution will say peaceful picketing.
Yes.
What does that indicate?
Okay. Let me bring Peter. Peter, I think he just picked your mind at some point when you were talking. Go ahead. You can rebuttal to that.
Well, you are Dr.
Dr. Rotich, yes.
Because it's important for me to address you by your name so that I don't make any mistake. Dr. Rotich. You found me saying about parenting and disagreed when I said the president was to some extent wrong saying the problem is parenting. I personally have kids of that age, in that bracket of Gen Z, and I do not think, and I will not admit in this telecast, that I failed in bringing up my children. If one somewhere in this country, in any section of the world, that has failed to bring up their kids in the manner that should go, I'm not in that category. Having said that, when we look at Article 37, that gives us freedoms of picketing, demonstrating, as we exercise and put it into practice, we have found, and it's in common knowledge, that some sections of Kenyans have deployed people nowadays, they are called goons, to disrupt those demonstrations, those peaceful demonstrations. Because the Constitution in its spirit did not envisage destruction, disruption of lives during demonstration. So then what calls for us is to go back to the Constitution, and we find, if it does not exhaustively address the issue so that it's clearly black and white, that we do not have gray areas. If there was a time that we needed a referendum, is now. So that now we can separate what is peaceful demonstrations and what is destruction of properties. And how do we identify peaceful demonstrators, and at what point do we separate them from goons? The ones who come and take advantage of confusion and start looting, maiming, and even raping, looting, pickpocketing, and even mugging. Because when they go to the streets, they are not going to do that. But some people, both in the government and in the opposition, take advantage of that and bring people to infiltrate the ranks of the demonstrators. But as for parenting, it is not a general thing, and parent number one in this nation is the president. He's our parent. Okay?
Yes.
So we have not failed.
Okay. DG. I could say you're burning to respond to that.
Yes. Allow me to say this. I first asked myself, why is the head of state thinking or feeling that there is failure in terms of parenting? One is because of Gen Z's protests. Then I go further and ask myself, why these protests? What are the issues which are being raised?
Yes.
One of them is good governance. Another one is false promises by elected leaders, especially the current government. Three is holding leaders to account. Now, when you look at those things, you put them on one side, and you also look at the reaction of the government when it comes to these protests. Our panelist is talking about putting someone in a coffin. One, I don't agree totally with the disrespecting the office of the president, because that is a symbol of unity.
Yes.
But he is not above criticism. It is one thing to be president, and it is another thing altogether to behave according to the dictates and the requirements of such an office. If you behave as one as a president, definitely we have had presidents before. You ask yourself, why are Kenyans now raising questions about your leadership? Why are Kenyans raising issues about deputy governor of Machakos and not another governor in the republic? Why are they raising about questions about a certain MCA or governor or MP and not another one? So I think the issue of parenting is a escapist issue. Because the issues that are making our children to go to the streets are valid. If I made a promise today, Victor, I'm getting out of this studio, then go to town and bring a cup of tea in a thermos, please stick to that.
Yeah.
Don't say this. When you are in the office, you do the other thing. To my own review and understanding is Kenya is now on the radar of the UN Human Rights Commission because of the violations of the same. That is far away from this country. Why not another country within Africa or East Africa, which is under focus? Why? Because we are going way out of the constitutional way of dealing with issues. That's why we are finding ourselves there, injuring the image of this country.
Yes.
So I think it is not proper to say that as parents we are failing. The time has changed. It is us, old guards, who should know times has changed, and we change according to the time. So finally, I think if you are an MCA, if you are a deputy governor or anybody in any political office, please, if you are not ready to be questioned by those who put you there, because those are your bosses, quit and go farming or do some other things elsewhere.
Daktari, go farming.
Yes. I think, although there is a missing link somewhere, which we are not trying to connect. What the missing link there, although, is that the dissatisfaction or the discontentment that some people are failing to tell us is that, are we talking about the real peaceful demonstrators, or we are talking about those who have turned to be looters, those who kills, those who mines, those who rob people of their goods, I mean their items on the streets? Those are the people we are referring to. We are not referring to a peaceful citizen, a peaceful demonstrator, a Gen Z who wakes up in the morning with water, with an handkerchief, going to the streets to demonstrate against the government. Whichever language that they use, even though of course we are encouraging as parents that they must be held accountable individually for their utterances, for their doings, for everything. Now, when you tell me, when you fail to tell me that there is another guy who went to ban police station, there's another guy who went to supermarket and loot, there's another guy who went to, and you want to lump them up to say if they were peaceful demonstrators. I mean, are we failing in our responsibility to identify who are the real culprits? I mean, this is the point of law. Whenever we are talking about the goons along with the protesters, we are referring the goons. We are not referring the peaceful demonstrators. And those are the areas we must be able to separate.
During demonstration, it's so hard to differentiate between who is a goon and who is...
And that is why most of them are lumped up together as goons.
As goons.
Yes. So that is where we have a problem. But the moment we are able to identify and segregate and separate as to who is this guy who is actually infiltrating into a peaceful protest and then causing destruction, lootings and all this and that. So if we are not able to separate the law, we shall lump them together and say, oh, the World Human Rights, they are telling us about this. The government of the day has the custody to protect the properties and the lives of the people. That is their business. Once you turn a goon, once you turn a thief, once you turn a robber, what do you want to be done? I mean, how can you be dealt with? I mean, let us be honest to one another.
Daktari, I don't know. I think you might have been out of the country for a long time, or maybe you don't understand the issue so well. Why am I saying this? With all that, assume I'm disrupting any peaceful demonstration. Whose responsibility it is to ensure I do not disrupt that peaceful demonstration? We have a government that we pay taxes. We run the government through our taxes. Why can't they arrest such a person and you are subjected to criminal justice system? And if I'm found capable, I'm taken to committee like anybody else. Why kill such a person? We have seen senior government officials uttering words that, in my view, do not quantify such officers to remain in such offices. Because when you hear someone say shoot to kill, Where is that in our law? What is that they have committed other than picketing? And we have seen clearly. I hope Mr. Rotich saw this. We saw our security agencies working alongside these people, so-called criminals. They could not arrest them, meaning it is the government that is disrupting peaceful demonstration in our streets.
Yeah.
Because if you have people walking around alongside our security agents, what does that one mean? So in this case, what I said earlier, Victor, is when you see the reaction of the government, and by the way, Mr. Rotich, this is our country. And we have no another country called Kenya is anywhere else, Victor. So anything we are uttering, anything we are doing, I will always praise a good policy, and I will always give a contradicting opinion to a bad policy that is not going to take this country forward.
Okay.
Victor, finally.
I want to serve you tea.
Yes, before you serve tea, please. Look at sentiments like I saw a very good friend of mine, a very senior government minister. I say senior by virtue of the years he has served in public service. And this is CSL. The other day he is accusing a church in Kenya of not supporting this government. And they are going further. He went further and said, we had other two previous presidents who came from a certain region of this country.
Can you just hold that thought?
Yes.
Just hold that thought. I know where you're headed.
Yes.
Okay. I want to serve Dr. Rotich some tea.
I'll appreciate, sir.
You're okay with that?
I need tea like yesterday.
Very good. Very good. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Amen.
Kenya's storied history at the World Athletics Championships boasts 171 medals, which comprise 65 gold, 58 silver, and 48 bronze. This year, as we prepare for the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, the goal is to go one better than 2015, where Kenya topped the medal table in Beijing with 7 gold, 6 silver, and 3 bronze.
Kemboy and Kipruto. Kipruto is closing on this last, but stutters, and that gives Kemboy the chance. And the world champion comes back again for another world championship. Kipruto is in second place.
The realization of this goal starts at this Tuesday's national trials, in which 150 athletes will be battling for tickets to Tokyo across different disciplines at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. Catch these trials live on the 22nd of July, live from 9 a.m. on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Mimi ni Salim Mvurya, waziri wa masuala ya vijana, uchumi bunifu na michezo. CHAN imewasili Kenya. Na waomba wa Kenya wote tuweze kujitokeza kwa wingi, tuweze kushabikia timu yetu ya Harambee Stars. Tiketi tunaweza kulipa shilingi 200, 500 na 1000. Na CHAN iko KBC Channel 1 na KBC Radio Taifa. Tukutane Kasarani. Kenya ni nchi yetu, Harambee Stars ni timu yetu. Na sisi ni wazalendo wa Kenya.
All right, and welcome back. All of us have cups of coffee. The DJ has raised a very good concern. We don't have the branded cups. And we all of us, I mean, yeah, something is coming up. Don't worry.
Yes, I'm used to the branded one.
Yes.
But also, I also commend whoever came up with this. They're also good.
It's flowery.
They seem to be new.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you.
We are working on the other one.
I don't know, we are the real brand of Kenya.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right. So let's come back to the discussion, gentlemen, and thank you for staying with us, and even you as a viewer back home. So, DJ, you are submitting a point.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I was saying, this thing of senior government officials, please, even as you defend the government, as you promote government policies,
yes,
it is good we be civil. And we call the thing the way it is. I was giving an example of health minister. Don't bring religious disharmony, because, for example, myself, although Professor Rotich here feels we are not well parented, but I was told, even if you go anywhere and you find some Muslims praying under a tree, you need to respect them.
Yeah.
When you find a congregation, whichever congregation is praying, they are worshiping, irrespective of where they are doing it, please learn to respect them. So criticizing religious leaders in this country, and then you try to divide them by naming them, I don't think it will help. It is the same minister. And by the way, he went to his list sometimes back. By then he was my majority leader in parliament, and I disagreed with him. He said, please don't throw bombs here in his lead, throw them in Machakos. You know, sometimes he is reckless. I know sometimes he could go some places and whatever they discuss in those places, he takes them to public. He needs not to. I think he needs to check his mouth. Now, the same happens to also another good friend of mine, whom we played Mbunge FC together, the current interior CS.
Yes.
You don't say shoot to kill. Just arrest Kenyans. And I'm happy that the NPS decided, many of them decided to ignore that kind of an order, which was also, again, Mr. Rotich, was also indirectly backed by the head of state by directing the police to shoot somewhere at the leg. I don't think the government needs to do all that. All we need, all of us as Kenyans, we need to adhere by our constitution. If we did that, Victor, we will not see the kind of things that we are seeing today. And I don't buy the idea that it is bad parenting. It is only that we know, Mwangangi, you came here, you promised us this thing, you did not do it, we are holding you to account. You don't tell us there is no money for devolution and you are splashing out there 1 million worth of a watch.
Okay.
You know, somehow don't annoy the Kenyans, and then when they are trying to hold you to account, you start killing us.
My question is, DG, because we are looking at a situation where Kenya is not asleep anymore. We are in a new dispensation of new constitution, so to speak, which is quite progressive world over. But then now, the protest that we are seeing in the country did not start today. Just the other day, we commemorated the Sabasaba. We started way back in the 90s, and we are here. But times have grown until now we are now the generation who, to some extent, understood the real meaning of Sabasaba. This started last year during the Maandamano about the finance bill. Nobody took them to the streets. They read. But then now the question is, so what role do you have to play as political class to guide this country so that much as there is that civil unrest, there is also some rule of law taken care of?
First and foremost, we need to be ready to be held to account. That is one. Number two, we need to live by the dictates and the requirements of the offices that we occupy. Number three, if we exercised rule of law, if we adhered to our constitution, then we will ensure everything is, we will witness smooth running of our country. When you look at the issues that are taking our people to streets, are valid issues. The question is how we react to them, how we engage them, and our sincerity. We had Azimio's led demonstrations. People sat somewhere in the bombers of Kenya came up with a very good document with very good issues to develop and advance this country as far as development is concerned. But what do we do about it? The NADCO report is lying somewhere, and we continue behaving as though all is well. So in this case, we must be held to account. When Kenyans say we used public funds to come up with this very good document, why are you not implementing it? That does not warrant you be abducted, you be killed, you be incarcerated and be charged through terrorism. You know, you look at some of these things, and it is action of this government that is hardening Kenyans more. Anything they do as far as maiming Kenyans is concerned, it is hardening Kenyans and ensuring when the demonstration is called, they will come now 10 times they were.
Okay.
So the best way is we listen to each other, we engage each other, and anything coming out of that engagement is honestly implemented. And if it cannot be implemented for one reason or the other, please come forward and explain to Kenyans. We are unable to do 1, 2, 3 because of 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Dr. Let me come back to you. The issue of rule of law, everything in line.
Thank you so much, Olo. The way I look at it, Olo, this country is not devoid of law. It is not devoid of the Constitution. And after the 2010 promulgation of this, the current Constitution that gave us a more democratic space in this country, it has made Kenyans to be more powerful the way they are at the moment. But you see, Olo, any right that is not well managed, it becomes a curse. Because when you say I have we are a state of democracy, or you are in a state of democracy, where you want to do everything the way you want. Although, if these things are not managed and managed well, it will lead us into anarchy. You take, for example, although the law allows freedom to picket, but saying peaceful demonstration. And that is what is in our law. It is also guaranteed of every Kenyan citizen. In this case, law, when you go into riots, there is also the law that guards riots. When you go into looting, when you go into miming, when you all sorts of ugly things, the state has its law to guard the property and also guard the lives of the Kenyans.
Yes.
And in this case alone, when you say that where does your right ends? I want to tell you where your right ends, mine begins. And that is why there must be respect among the Kenyans. Even as my issue is explaining something like that Kenyans must abide by the law, and all of us must be held individually responsible for whatever utterances, whatever action that we are doing as Kenyans. And the moment we stick to the law, this country will be well managed.
Okay.
Now tell me a situation whereby you ram into a police station, you scare the policemen, they run away. The people who are supposed to be providing security, they themselves are not secure. Which country on earth can we be if we allow such things to happen? And then there was an incident, although in Homa Bay, whereby one officer went on a Pesach and then he canned down his boss. And then he ran away, hardly a kilometer away. He was subdued. He was subdued by a gun. He was canned down because he was now dangerous to the public. What do you do to this guy who is now dangerous to the public? The askari himself, the policeman was subdued.
What are you trying to imply?
No, what I'm trying to tell you, law, there are situations where the law allows the use of a gun.
Okay, so in this case, how would you handle that?
Of course, these guys who are actually in the field, those who have been trained to do that, they're security people. They know, they are well skilled. They know how to do their job.
Yeah.
They have been trained to do that one. So in that case, what I'm saying, in circumstances where it goes beyond their capacity to protect themselves or to protect the lives of others, using a gun is not a criminal offense. It is allowed in the law. So, but just as I was saying, I was telling you, anything excess is dangerous. We cannot use a gun excessively. Of course, my brother was referring about the recent utterances. Mine, I'm very keen about the You oversaw what Nelson Goech, the MP Belgood, uttering about shoot to kill. And he was advancing from what the president said, that shoot on the leg. What the president meant was, can you subdue? Get this person, because the president even expressed that the person, as he proceeds to the court, that means he will be treated in the hospital, he will proceed to do. So he never meant to kill, according to my own opinion. But in this case, people are so jittery about that. Yet the president is protecting the rights and the lives of the Kenyan citizens.
Okay, let's talk about this way. So, no shoot to kill, not shoot to maim, or shoot, on sight. So, is there anything different that can be done? We have a very good constitution, Dr. Did you know that?
I totally agree with you, Olo. I'm not for killing. I'm not for shooting myself. I have to be very honest to you. I'm not for that one. But what I'm saying, we need to make a lot of exploits as to what is it that we can do that should not lead us to shooting. And if they have already exhausted those areas, then the alternative will be just that one. So what we are saying, in any normal approach that will really create a conducive environment, or rather protect the lives and the properties of the people, that is what we should follow. But where it is beyond the measure, you go to a police station, you burn it down. You took over the guns, and then you call yourself a Gen Z. Which Gen Z goes to a police station? I mean, an armed person. I mean, my friend, we need to educate Kenyans more about who is a Gen Z and who is a terrorist. And my brother is talking about that the guys are being charged under Terrorist Act. Which other measure can you give to somebody who has terrorized police station, burn down the courts in the country? How can you treat such a person? How is it different between the one that we were experiencing about the cooperative that was smashed some years back, 1992, with terrorists? What's the difference between that one? So what we are just saying, we need to create citizens who are law-abiding.
Thank you. Peter.
Maybe before I start, I needed to remind Dr. Rotich that the senior police officer that was killed was in Siaya and not in Homa Bay.
Thank you for your correction.
So that we do not portray Homa Bay as the bed of deaths of all sorts. Now?
That's my county.
No.
Thank you for your correction, sir. I salute you.
Okay. Let me tell you, words are powerful chambers. And words carry different power depending on who has said those words. A person in authority pointing you with his finger is like giving instructions to be beaten or arrested or something. So I want to disagree that in any way there is no place for shoot either on the legs, either shoot to kill or shoot when it is necessary. The leadership of this nation, having all the powers they have, they would have used better terms. But if you say, as a leader, use appropriate law, it is enough to explain what you mean, other than going to the public and saying shoot. Let me tell you something. We will keep quiet because he's a Swale. It will come time we'll keep quiet because he's a Peter. We will continue keeping quiet after done with the Molo, karaoke, until it is your day that people need to speak, but they are not there because when you kept quiet, they were dealt with. So we need to speak, and I wish here in KBC, being a national telecast, I would wish in the future if we started with something that unites all of us and makes us feel that we are all Kenyans, and when we come here we speak like Kenyans, ordinary Kenyans, speaking for Kenyans. For example, I wish we would sing the national anthem. And again, maybe, Olo, next time you ask us to come here, you either provide us with copies of the Constitution, you tell us to come with the copies. We come with the copies.
Yes. I can provide one for you.
Not now.
Okay.
I want it to be here the way we have these newspapers, so that when we refer to a certain section of the Constitution, the public can see we are referring. You know, sometimes when you say something from your mind, is not as effective as when you are reading. You see? 2, let's go back to the demonstrators, because it's a very emotive issue. When the Gen Zs, they called so-called Gen Zs, when they organized themselves, they moved to the streets, in their wisdom, and I want to tell you, this is one of the reasons that I'm saying that we are parenting our children very well. In their wisdom, they said all of us must carry a flag. The flag is a sign that we are all Kenyans. We are not tribe this or that. The flag was the uniting factor. It's not that one aspect of parenting, good parenting, that they went there with flag, with water. And it is the business and the responsibility of the National Police Service under the Minister of Interior to make sure that they separate goons, thieves from the peaceful demonstrators.
Thank you. Gentlemen, I want us to do something here because I have very few minutes to go. And did you just help me with the Star newspaper kindly? And on the front, in the inner pages of the Star newspaper, this is what I'm about to ask you. I think you are mentioned somewhere. Where is that? Yes, go ahead. Wrangling MCAs and governors derail service deliveries in counties. And I think, how is Nairobi doing, Peter, so far? Machakos has been mentioned here. We have got 5 counties, include Bungoma, Machakos, Isiolo, Nyamira, and Meru counties grappling with the active or recent standoffs between the executive and legislative arms of government, undermining day-to-day operations. How would you describe that, DG?
One, it's unfortunate because devolution is meant to work for Kenyans at the grassroots level.
Yes.
When there are those wrangles, don't expect there to be effective and efficient delivery of services. But by and large, it is the kind of politics that we have. Because when you look at, like in the case of Machakos,
yes,
you look at the team on one side and the other one, you see a political divide. Those who want to succeed the current administration, and those who want also, who are looking for an opportunity, for an entry opportunity.
Yes.
We have seen, and it is in public knowledge, those who are trying to bring those wrangles have been to State House, have been to the office of the deputy president. The person who wants to be hosted has also been there. You know, now you look at it, is pure politics and bad politics, because even as I articulate issues here, I'm not in any way insinuating we have a bad government at all, because it is our government. It is Kenya's government. Administration might belong to it belongs to the president, His Excellency President William Ruto.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is our government. I challenge their policies, the bad ones, and equally the same. If I were to oppose the current leadership in any county, I will challenge their policies and unveil more prosperous and those better policies.
Yes.
In case of counties, largely it is pure politics. That is happening there, and it's unfortunate.
Okay.
It's unfortunate. That should not be the case.
That should not be the case. But let's talk about the economic aspect of it. Doctor, you are an economist, and ever since we had this devolution, the first cohort of the county executives, some would describe that they were learning in the job, all right? And now the subsequent leadership, including the DG here, some would say that they're no longer Gen Zs in devolution, all right? How is it really affecting devolution? Because number one, there is that on-source revenue. There are so many county, bills that are supposed to be passed and all that, but we have several counties. It's unfortunate that these are the ones that have been mentioned currently, but we've had several counties even in the past.
I think, what is bedeviling most of the counties, I think I would refer my own county, Kericho, as one of the examples, because we have had problems in the past, especially MCAs planning to host the governor. And even the latest, there is also an allegation that was put up by the deputy governor, an allegation of some money lost through some dubious transactions.
Yeah.
And when you look at it very keenly, although it is not so much about corruption alone, it is about politics. And now people, I mean, most of them are eyeing 2027 and seating one another. Because here is a case whereby the constitution, the promulgated 2010 constitution actually never gave clear, I mean, very clear roles of the deputy governor. And the clearest thing that it is so obvious to most of them is that in the event that a governor is ousted or removed, the automatic heir will be the deputy governor.
Yeah. And
that kind of space has actually brought about a lot of instability, whereby the deputy governor feels that he is an entitled heir in the event of removal of the governor. So that kind of opportunity is very dangerous if it is not addressed constitutionally. And then number two, the issues to do with the delay of remittance of funds by the national government to these county governments has actually handicapped them. You get most of the county governments actually, they have loads and loads and billions of pending bills, which of course they are now unable to address. They cannot even pay their clients, those people who have actually worked for the county government.
Service
and then
providers.
the people have now lost the trust in the leadership of the county government, not because they are bad, but because of the government delay of remittance of funds from the national coffers to the county coffers. And then number three, Olo, is that now that we sometimes also have rock speakers, I mean, of the county assemblies, who may also have a hidden interest of becoming governors in future. So what they are actually what they would be also planning to do is to cripple the operations of the county government, to subject the sitting governor look like he's not a performer when it is he himself who has subjected that governor into such conditions. So, I mean, there are a lot of intrigues in our county governments. Then when you talk about the self-sourcing of funding,
yes,
it has not been very easy in most of the county governments, because you get much of what they are expecting actually should be coming from the national government. Sourcing on their own individual sources has been very minimal, and that has really threatened even the closure of some of the county governments. Some county governments, they have to rely entirely on the national government actually remittance of funds, and they don't operate. Once the county government stopped or delays, they don't do any operation. Even payment of the salaries for their own staffs has been a real problem. So I do look at the problems that are bedeviling the county government or law is also contributed by the national government, which it is something that must be addressed and addressed for law. First, addressing that law whereby the deputy governor can inherit automatically the governor in the event of ouster or anything like that, because that has brought instability among the county governments.
It's debatable though. Peter, do you have wrangles in the county of Nairobi?
Obviously,
do you depend on on-source revenue?
Obviously, you can see we have not made to the list of shame. So for that reason, don't allow me to imagine making to the list of shame. And the reason why we have not made to the list of shame,
it's not a list of shame per se.
No, allow me to express my opinion without constraint.
Okay.
You see, the fact that we are not among these counties which are named here, it shows you we have the capacity to manage diversity. Let's start from there, because the issue here is MCAs. For example, if you went to Isiolo MCAs, they are just from 2 communities and from 1 political party, right? Just giving an example. When you go to Kericho, almost all the MCAs from same community, same political party, same manifesto. So what happens is that the leadership does not have the capacity to manage diversity. As for our own source revenue, we've collected more than we ever collected before. And I don't even need to explain that, because we are not appearing in this list of shame. The thing is, the issue of Machakos, the issue of Bungoma, the issue of Kericho, and this, for example, in Bungoma, it is already succession politics because the governor is serving his second term.
Yeah.
So other people from outside, as we saw, people have shown interest. And in Machakos, the deputy governor is here. He needs to explain to us why. Because we've never had him and the governor fight. And I want to also to disagree before I finish that, well, the constitution, in the wisdom of lack of it, we created the possibility of the deputy governor inheriting if it happens, whatever time it happens, and if he does so, within the 2.5 years, he will be construed to serve a term. Deputy governor. So when this one was designed in the wisdom so that when you pick your deputy governor, it's like, for example, you yourself, when you get married, you never know who leaves this world before the other. So when you have children, you can know if it was clearly shown that you are dying tomorrow. You won't say, let me die with my wife because I don't trust her with my children. So if you pick a governor, you should pick when a governor picks a running mate, you should pick a running mate that you are also as much comfortable if you became the governor, whether dead or impeached. All right?
Yeah.
You need to understand there could be issues of impeachment. So when you pick a deputy governor, you should also be comfortable with that deputy becoming the governor and start serving you as an ordinary citizen.
Thank you. DG, are you working to settle scores with your MCS in the county?
We are ever engaging and we are ever open to deal with issues.
Yes.
I think I need to say this.
Kindly, as we finish.
We need also to appreciate those wrangles. Because sometimes, if you are quiet, you might not know what is happening or what might not be happening. So sometimes let us also appreciate we have a democratic society, our democratization process continues, and let also these leaders who are elected from wards, our MCS, express themselves. Sometimes these wrangles are not that bad.
Okay.
They are not that bad. It is good.
It is
sometimes when you have an opposing side and you have the majority side, so not the kind of, I remind viewers and the country that one time the then deputy president and presidential candidate was invited somewhere in Charterhouse in United Kingdom, and he strongly built a case against the minority and the majority working together as government. In fact, he termed it as a mongrel kind of something in Kenya that was happening then. Sometimes it is good you have a very strong opposing side and a very also strong majority on government side, and out of it you will have quality policies that will, which sometimes is good. It's not that bad. It's not entirely that bad.
Deputy Governor of Machakos County, you're a friend of KBC, GMK. Thank you so much for always sparing your time. And we'll be talking about this over and over again. I think he said sometimes it's good to have that opposition so that mnapimana na nguvu kidogo. Thank you so much, Francis Mwangangi, Honorable Francis Mwangangi, who is the Deputy Governor of Machakos County. Peter Mutua, who is the Head of Service Delivery Unit in Nairobi County, is also a political governance and expert. Thank you so much for coming. And Dr. Joseph Rotich, an economist by profession and also political commentator. Gentlemen, three wise men. Hands up to all of you. Thank you. And you as a viewer, thank you for coming and for watching. Now, let me leave you with the tip of the day as we wind up this. Good morning.
Kwanza saizi ndio unampa motisha ya kupigana na wewe kabisa.
I've met a lot of men like Mark who just bark and can never bite.
Said leave
I want to be alone.
You tumia chakula. Kufanya nini? Sikuelewi. Na si umesema dad ni kama amerogwa na kama you tumia chakula.
Would you like somebody who killed your own mother? Fiona, who told you that?
Kama uko tayari, wakati utakuwa tayari, utanitafuta na mimi nitakupa majibu ya kila swali unalo.
Liwa mtoto wetu Joyce ndio wachwe hii nyumba. Wewe angalia uone.
My name is Salim Mvuria, the Cabinet Secretary, Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports. And I want to tell all Kenyans, Chan is here with us. I want to invite you to Kasarani so you can rally our Harambee Stars team. The tickets are affordable, 200, 500, 1,000. Harambee Stars is playing, Kenya is playing. Let's meet at Kasarani. Tuko pamoja.
And Lamin Kamara with his first career goal.
Ni muda wa kuhesabu kwa ajili ya kusherekea fasili na asili ya soka barani Afrika. Ligi za ndani na magwiji wasiotambulika.
Mangeni Alvin anaichanja ndani uzuri. David!
Michuano ya CAF ya mataifa ya Afrika 2024 ni njia ya kuzindua kupanua mtandao wa wachezaji ulimwenguni. Timu itakayoshinda itazawadiwa dola za Marekani milioni 3.5 pamoja na kujivunia kulinyanyua kombe hilo. Pata manufaa zaidi kutoka kwa Chan 2024 mubashara na kipute cha kipekee kwenye runinga ya KBC Channel 1, mwenzio wa dhati michezoni.
Kenya's storied history at the World Athletics Championships boasts 171 medals, which comprise 65 gold, 58 silver, and 48 bronze. This year, as we prepare for the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, the goal is to go one better than 2015, where Kenya topped the medal table in Beijing with 7 gold, 6 silver, and 3 bronze.
Kemboy and Kipruto. Kipruto is closing on this last, but stutters, and that gives Kemboy the chance. And the world champion comes back again for another world championship. Kipruto is in second place.
The realization of this goal starts at this Tuesday's national trials, in which 150 athletes will be battling for tickets to Tokyo across different disciplines at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. Catch these trials live on the 22nd of July, live from 9 a.m. on KBC Channel 1. Your true
Habari muhimu ni zile zinazoathiri maisha yako, na zinapojiri tuko hapo.
Tunakuletea habari zinazojiri nchini na kimataifa.
Hakuna kabila ambayo iko hapa Kenya kwa malipo ya mwingine.
Mambo ya matibabu isiwe starehe ya watu wadosi.
Tunakufahamisha kila wakati ili uwe tayari kwa yajayo.
We will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
Katika ulimwengu unaosonga kwa kasi, usahihi wa habari ni muhimu.
The only thing that has changed, Senator Khalwale, is that you are defending the indefensible. If you allow me as a bullfighter, I'll fix him here and now, and it will be sorted out.
You were doing very well until you brought out your character of bullfighting.
Tunakupa habari sahihi na zisizoegemea upande wowote.
Pindi tu walioteuliwa wataidhinishwa na bunge la kitaifa.
Na ni hapa ndipo
Darubini,
kila siku ya Jumatatu na Jumanne
saa 1 jioni.
Kila mwisho wa juma hapa katika runinga yako ya KBC Channel 1 tunakuletea Mkulima.
Mkulima ni kipindi cha kila mtu. Mkulima mdogo, mkubwa, mnunuzi, muuzaji na pia anayenuia kuanza kilimo.
Kuanzia kwa mbinu bora na za kisasa za kilimo, ufugaji,
kukupa fursa za biashara, kuongeza dhamana hadi teknolojia zinazorahisisha kilimo.
Mkulima kisasa inakupa wewe maarifa, motisha na suluhu za kukuza mazao,
kuongeza kipato na pia kulisha taifa kwa jumla.
Tunafeed nchi, tunafeed watoto wetu na tunafeed Europa na tunaweka pesa.
Tazama Mkulima kila Jumamosi saa 10:30
kwenye runinga ya taifa.
Mkulima, tuko hapa kwa ajili yako,
ambapo fursa na kilimo zinapatana.
Hello, fabulous ladies. Welcome to the talk show that's all about sisterhood, empowerment, and unfiltered conversation.
We will be focusing on women.
We believe in women.
We are really changing.
We are creating a safe space for women to connect, thrive, and share.
Just because you're a woman on a bike, you're labeled in a certain way.
It's not just a talk show, it's a movement.
When they are standing, we need to stand out.
From heartwarming tales to hilarious adventures.
They could ask me, Catherine, why are you learning?
We are turning the spotlight on women who are breaking barriers in their individual fields.
You have to have a vision.
You are the leaders of Kenya today.
Keeping it honest and relatable.
Mental health is real.
Yes.
Where there is no communication, there is no relationship.
Join the sisterhood on KBC TV for Dada's Show.
Fanyika vizuri ya kwamba mkulima akapata faida katika harakati zake za kilimo. Kwa hivyo ni baadhi ya mambo mengi ambayo yanachangia kwamba tuweze tukafikia viwango
maji mashamba, na tunasema vipi kwamba tunawezaje kuongeza uzalishaji wa chakula kwa kiwango kikubwa zaidi, ama miradi hii itachangia vipi katika kuongeza uzalishaji wa chakula, miradi hii 40 peke yake ya umwagiliaji maji mashamba.
Asante sana Dora. Hapo awali tulikuwa tunategemea sana mvua kuzalisha chakula kutumia mvua, na kutoka na results ambazo tumeona kumekuwa na changamoto kubwa, mara mvua ipo, mara mvua haipo. Saa zingine wakulima wanapanda, saa zingine hali anga inakuwa haileti shangwe na wakulima hawavuni chenye walikuwa wanatarajia. Kwa hivyo serikali imeweka rasilimali mingi sana katika ile sekta ya unyunyiziaji wa maji, ndio sasa mkulima awe anaweza kulisha chakula chake off season na on season. Wakati mvua haipo anazalisha, wakati kuna mvua anazalisha. Na hiyo miradi ni 42 ni 40 tu ambayo kwa sasa imekamilika, lakini tunaendelea na ingine ambayo bado iko kwa pipeline ama iko kwa mpango. Na hiyo imechangia pakubwa sana, kwa sababu kama swala la ukuzaji wa mchele, mpunga, mnaita mpunga ama mchele, mpunga, tumekuwa na about 192 metric tons ndio tulikuwa tunazalisha hapo awali, lakini kwa sasa tumeongezea ule uzao umefika 293 or thereabout metric tons per season, per year. Hiyo sasa unaona ni kiwango kikubwa ambacho kimechangiwa na hili swala la unyunyiziaji wa maji. Pia kuna miradi ingine ndogo ndogo huko mashinani ambayo hata Mheshimiwa Rais ameweza kuzindua, na hii inachangia wale wakulima wadogo pale mashinani kuweza kulisha chakula cha kutumia pale nyumbani, kama kukuza mahindi, kukuza mboga, kukuza chakula ambacho kinachangia katika usalama wa chakula pale mashinani kwa wananchi wa kawaida. Na Dora, sijui kama nilisema hivi nikianza, lakini ni muhimu tukumbuke kwamba swala la usalama wa chakula liko katika katiba. it is a right. It is a right. Haki. Ni haki ya kibinadamu kwa serikali kuweza kupea wananchi wake chakula, na ndio maana unaona serikali hata kwa bajeti ya mwaka huu imeweka pesa mingi sana kujaribu kusaidia hilo swala, sababu kwa kizungu tunasema a hungry man is an angry man. Na tunataka Wakenya wawe na furaha, na furaha ya kwanza inaanza kwa lishe bora, chakula cha kutosha.
Wakati tunasema hungry man sio wanaume tu, sio watu wote.
Hapana, ni mpaka sisi.
Ukiwa na njaa basi unakuwa na hasira sana.
Mbaya sana.
Kabla nirudi kwake Bwana Fred, kuna kwa sababu pale serikalini na katika hicho kitengo mnaangazia sana masuala ya usalama wa chakula. Upo mradi wa serikali wa Galana Kulalu, na mradi huu najua mwanzoni ulikuwa na mambo yake, lakini najua kwa sasa kuna kitu ambacho kinaendelea katika ile kari nafikiri 2020. Hebu tueleze tu, tupatie taswira nini ambacho kinaendelea katika ule mradi na Mkenya atarajie nini baada ya muda upi?
Asante sana Dora. Pale najua tukitaja Galana Kulalu kuna kuwa na maswala nyeti, lakini kwa sasa ule mpango uko salama, tunaendelea vizuri na tunatumia ile tunaita ushirikiano wa kibinafsi na wa umma, public private partnership ya kuweza kuzalisha pale Galana Kulalu. Kwa sasa tuko na mradi ambao unaendelea wa seed maize ama mbegu, kukuza mbegu ya mahindi, kwa sababu ile mbegu ambayo tunapeana certified seeds mara mingi huwa hata tunanunua kutoka nchi zingine, na hiyo ni pesa ya nchi inaenda nje. Kwa hivyo pale tunakuza seed maize ambayo itatumika kuuzia wakulima waweze kupata mbegu bora ya kuzalisha katika mashamba yao. Na pia kuna mpango wa kutengeneza dam pale Galana Kulalu ili kuhifadhi maji, ndio hayo maji yatumike kuzalisha chakula zingine. Tunatarajia kuanza kuzalisha miwa, kuzalisha mpunga na kuzalisha chakula aina zingine ambazo zitachangia katika usalama wa chakula. Na ni mzuri nitaje Dora pale Galana, kwa sasa mambo inaendelea vizuri, na sio ile Galana tulikuwa tunaongelea pale mbeleni ambayo haikuwa na faida. Kwa sasa huo mradi tuko na imani sana.
Nini kimepandwa kule kando na mahindi ama ni mahindi tu?
Kwa sasa kuna mahindi, kuna mpunga ambao uko katika pipeline, na kuna chakula zingine, lakini ile tunatarajia kubwa sana ni mahindi, mpunga na miwa. Yeah.
Shukrani sana. Labda nije kwako Bwana Fred kutoka Biovision, na mahali ambapo unaketi miradi kama hii ya serikali, tumie mfano kama hii ya Galana Kulalu, eka 2020, kukuza mahindi, mpunga na kadhalika, ndo njia kuhakikisha kwamba tunastawi na kuwa na chakula cha kutosha, na labda tutahitaji miradi zaidi kama hii, ama sasa tuseme okay, huu ni mradi wa serikali lakini mwananchi na yeye kivyake ana jukumu la kujizatiti kuhakikisha kwamba tuna chakula cha kutosha?
Asante sana Dora. Kwanza nipongeze juhudi ambazo zinazoendelea ama zinazoendelezwa na serikali kwa ajili ya kuwezesha taifa tuwe na usalama wa chakula. Na ni kwamba pia kuna baadhi ya mambo ambayo yanaendelea, na nafikiri nikirejelea ile jambo la kwanza ya kwamba mbona hatuna usalama thabiti wa chakula, ni kwamba kuna baadhi ya mambo ambayo nitasema kwamba mfumo wa kilimo ni mambo ambayo imekuja mbele sana, imepewa kipao cha mbele, kwamba ni vizuri tuanze kuangazia mfumo wa kilimo ambayo tumeitumia miaka mingi. Mbona tumewekeza na serikali imeweka juhudi sana na wadau wengi, na ili hali ya kwamba tujapata suluhu thabiti kwa mambo haya. Kwa hivyo inamaanisha ni vyema ya kwamba tuangalie tena mfumo wa kilimo. Na nataka kushukuru sana kwamba mwaka jana tumekuwa na strategy ambayo tunasema the National Agroecology Strategy, ambayo inaangazia kuweza kuangalia upya baadhi ya mambo ambayo tunayofanya katika sekta ya kilimo, ili tuweze kupata suluhu katika baadhi ya mambo ambayo imekuwa ni kizuizi, ili tusiweze kuwa na ile usalama wa chakula. Kwa hivyo ni mambo mengi, na nafikiria kwamba kila moja wetu, serikali na mashirika yasiyo serikali, tunaweka juhudi pale ama tumejukumika kabisa ili kuweza kupata suluhu katika jambo hili. Kwa hivyo naweza sema kwamba kila ambacho mwenzangu Dorothy amesema ni kwamba kuna miradi ambayo yanaendelea. Lakini kando na hayo pia kuna baadhi ya mambo ambayo pia yanazingatiwa. Na sisi mahali tupo ya kwamba sisi kama shirika na wadau wengine na hata serikali tumeanza kuangalia kwamba mfumo ya kilimo ekolojia labda itakuwa njia muhimu sana. Kwa sababu kilimo pia imekuwa ni kwamba imechangia pia pakubwa. Jinsi tumefanya kilimo hapo awali ni kwamba inachangia uharibifu wa mazingira na mambo kama yale. Udongo ambao tuko nao kwa sasa yameathirika sana kwa sababu ya tuseme zile practices ambazo haijakuwa sawa. Kwa hivyo mambo haya yote kwa jumla tunapoangalia zile kanuni za kilimo ekolojia ni kwamba tunaangazia kwamba kilimo ambacho pia ni endelevu, ambayo pia itakuwa inachangia pia kuboresha hali ya mazingira. Ili tufaulu katika kilimo ni kwamba lazima tuangalie ubora na afya ya mazingira. Hiyo ni jambo muhimu sana. Pili, nilivyosema kwamba chakula sio tu chakula tu kwa sababu kiko na kimetosha. Na kile chakula tutajiuliza, je, iko na afya ama iko na lishe bora? Na ni chakula ambayo iko na afya katika mwili. Baadhi ya mambo haya ni muhimu sana kwa sababu pia kumekuwa na changamoto kwamba kilimo ambacho wakulima wengi wamefanya ni kwamba kumekuwa na tatizo ile tunasema contamination na food safety, usalama wa chakula. Kwa hivyo mambo haya yote ni muhimu sana, ili wakati napoketi chini napopata chakula changu ni kwamba kile chakula kiko sawa, kiko na lishe ambayo inahitajika, na pia sina wasiwasi ya kwamba labda huenda nakula kitu ambacho kitaniletea madhara.
Na tutakuja hapo kwa usalama wa chakula baadaye, manake imetajwa pia kwa moja hapo mambo ambayo yanachangia pia katika magonjwa mbalimbali kama vile saratani. Usalama wakati tunazungumzia kama sumu ile aflatoxin katika chakula na mambo kama haya. Lakini kabla nirudi kwake Bi Dorothy, umezungumzia sana masuala mbinu za kilimo, na sijui kama sasa ni wakati ambapo tubadilishe mbinu za ukulima hapa nchini Kenya kuhakikisha kwamba tuna chakula cha kutosha, mojazo ikiwa ni labda nafasi ya teknolojia katika masuala ukulima hapa nchini, na pia umezungumzia kilimo ekolojia ambayo ni agroecology. Hebu tueleze kwa ufupi zaidi kabla tujasonga mbele kuhusiana na masuala haya. Ni wakati wa kubadili mfumo wa ukulima tuingie katika masuala ya teknolojia?
Nafikiri yote inaambatana kwa pamoja, na unapotazama kwamba nilivyosema kwamba mwaka jana Kenya tumekuwa na strategy ambayo tunasema the agroecology strategy ambayo inaangazia mambo haya yote. Kwa hivyo yanaangazia pia mambo ya tunapoangalia mambo ya tunapoangazia mambo ya tasema aje teknolojia. Na nisema kwamba kuna utafiti mingi ambayo imeendelezwa katika na mashirika mbalimbali ambazo zinafanya utafiti kama Calro, kuna Isipe ambao tunafanya nao kwa karibu sana, kuna ILRI na mengine. Kuna baadhi ya mambo mengi sana utafiti imefanyika, na kuna tuseme zile innovations, na mara nyingi unapata kwamba hivi innovation hazifiki kwa mkulima. Kwa hivyo hatujapata faida sana kwa mambo haya. Kwa hivyo teknolojia zipo, na hata ambayo anaambatana na kilimo ekolojia ama sustainable agriculture, lakini yule ambaye anafaa azitumie ili tuweze kuboresha hali ya uzalishaji ni kwamba haimfikii. Kwa hivyo kuna ile gap ambapo ni muhimu sana, ambayo lazima tuweze kuangalia ni mbinu zipi tutaweza kutatua ile shida ya kwamba wakati utafiti inavyofanyika na tunakuwa na teknolojia, zile teknolojia zinafikia mkulima na wanaweza kuitumia ili waboreshe hali ya kilimo. Kwa hivyo kuna changamoto pale.
Hapo kwa teknolojia pia najua kuna swala, naona Bi Dorothy anaingilia. Unajua kuna mtu anajiuliza, maana nimeona lalama kwa mfano kwa wakulima wa majani chai, wakati teknolojia inaingia, labda utumizi wa mashine, wengine wakalalama kwamba labda tunapunguza nafasi za ajira, lakini labda ni swala la kujadiliwa. Bi Dorothy, unasemaje?
Asante. Katika hilo swala la teknolojia, mimi naweza kusema mkulima wa Kenya ni mkulima ambaye ni mtu wa maono ya mbali sana, na Kenya ni mojawapo wa zile nchi ambazo zimeadopt technology kwa njia kubwa sana. Kwa sasa ukiangalia wakulima wengi, utapata wakulima wengi hata wanauza mazao yao kwa mtandao, na wapo ukiangalia unapata mtu tu mkulima binafsi amechukua ile jukumu na ameenda pale kwa mtandao anauza mazao yake. Kuna mashirika pia kama hayo rafiki yangu hapa anafanyia kazi, wanapeana huduma ya mtandao kwa mambo ya weather, hali ya anga, mambo ya mvua, mambo ya mbegu. Na serikali imeangalia hiyo na iko na wataalamu na wanaanza kutumia hiyo pia kusaidia wakulima wa Kenya. Kwa mfano, kwa sasa ile mbolea ya ruzuku ambao mwananchi anatumia kwa sasa iko katika ile tunaita e-voucher, wanaipata kwa mtandao. Kwa sasa sio lazima uende ukapige foleni kwa afisi fulani ndio upate fertilizer ama upate mbolea. Tumefanya mpango wa kuandikisha wakulima, na ni mzuri nitaje hapa kwamba wakulima kwa sasa ambao wamejiandikisha kwa ile program wamefika 6.95 million. Na hao ni wakulima wengi sana, na wanatumia ile njia ya e-voucher kupata mbolea, so inarahisisha kazi mpaka ya serikali na ya mkulima mwenyewe kupata hiyo huduma. Na pia kuna mpango ambao unaendelea kwa sasa na program ambao ni ya kishirika ya serikali tukishirikiana na wahifadhi wengine ambayo wadhamini wengine ambayo inaitwa NAFCDP. Pale tunaunganisha wakulima katika cooperatives na tuko na mpango wa kuweka wakulima kila ward kwa cooperative moja, ambao pia itakuwa inasaidia kuaggregate ama kuweka pamoja mazao yao na pia kuweza kuuza pale katika ile platform. Na hapo tutasaidia mkulima pia aweze kuweza kuuza ile chakula amelisha extra, kwa sababu sisi tunaona na tuna hakika kwamba mkulima wa Kenya in the next few months atakuwa anazalisha chakula enough yake yeye mwenyewe ya kukula, na akona excess ya kuuzia wenye wanakaa maeneo ambayo hawalimi kama we Dora hapa Nairobi. Najua kuna shamba lakini bado wahitaji chakula. So mkulima mwenye yako pale analima ataweza kuuza mazao yake, na utaweza, kama ni kuku unataka, sio lazima uende pale Bama, unaweza pata na njia nyingine na ikufikie kwa hali ya usalama.
Kwa hivyo teknolojia sio tu katika mashine kule shambani, pia tunazungumzia mambo ya kidijitali na kuboresha masuala ya kilimo. Na pia nimeona wakulima wanafunzwa katika njia ya mitandao pia. Nafikiri hiyo ni teknolojia. Na muda unatukimbiza sana, msikilizaji wapo najiunga nasi kwa sasa na mtazamaji. Tunaangazia masuala ya usalama wa chakula hapa nchini, na tungependa kusikia kutoka kwako. Wapo na maswali kwa wataalamu wetu hapa studioni kuhusiana na hali ya chakula hapa nchini. Labda wewe ni mkulima na una swali jinsi ya kuboresha ukulima wako na vipi unachangia pia katika masuala ya usalama wa chakula hapa nchini. Nenda katika mitandao yetu ya kijamii, Facebook KBC Radio Taifa 92.9 FM, weke ujumbe wako, vile vile KBC Channel 1. Mimi pia unaweza kunitag kwa @doramanya kupitia mitandao yangu ya kijamii. Bwana Fredrick, ndugu kwako kidogo kabla nikuje kwako utupatie mtazamo ama msimamo wa serikali na vile serikali inasaidia mkulima, maana umezungumzia mkulima na mimi pia ni mkulima. Vipi mkulima asaidiwe sana sana ijapo katika baada ya mavuno tatizo hutokea pia katika uhifadhi wa kile chakula, na wengi hupoteza pia chakula kingi sana hapa katikati. Na nilikuwa nafikiria peke yangu, kwa mfano mkulima wa miwa, miwa yake iko tayari, inafaa kwenda katika factory, yani kitambo ile miwa ifike pale, ile miwa imeanguka njiani tayari ni tani kadhaa na zingine zimeharibika pale shambani. Kwa hivyo vipi mkulima atasaidiwa kuhakikisha kwamba baada ya mavuno chakula chake kinahifadhiwa ipasavyo, na pia tunazuia masuala ya chakula kuharibika na sana sana nafaka kutokana na ile sumu kuvu ambayo tunasema ni aflatoxin?
Na asante sana Dora, na nafikiri umeguzia jambo ambalo ni muhimu sana, kwa sababu tunapoangalia Kenya kwa sasa tunapoteza karibu 30% ya mazao yetu baada ya kuvuna, post harvest loss, na hicho ni kiwango kikubwa sana, kwa sababu inamaanisha kwamba ni pesa tumepoteza. Mkulima amewekeza, serikali wamewekeza ili kusaidia hali ya kilimo, lakini mwisho tunapata kwamba 30% karibu 30 imepotea. Na nitasema kwamba jambo moja ni kwamba wakulima wengi labda hawajapata zile skills ama zile ujuzi ya kuweza kujua ni njia zipi ambazo wanaweza tumia ili kuweza kupunguza hiyo hali ya kupoteza zao baada ya kuvuna. So kuna ile knowledge gap ambapo nafikiria inachangia pakubwa. Pili ni kwamba hali ya soko pia inatatiza wakulima, ambapo pia ni jambo ambalo ni nzito sana kwa wakulima wengi, kwa sababu tunafanya na wakulima kwa karibu sana, na mara nyingi kwamba tumefanya na wao na wamepata zile ujuzi, zile skills, wameapply zile technologies na zao likaongezeka, lakini sasa soko hakuna. Napata kwamba wakati soko ambapo inapatikana kwamba labda wakulima wengi pia wamevuna wakati moja. Nafikiria kile mwenzangu ameelezea ni kwamba ikiwa kutakuwa na namna ya kufanya aggregation, labda itaweza saidia katika hali ya kufikia soko mbalimbali, na labda itachangia kupunguza ile post harvest loss, kwa sababu ile ni jambo kubwa sana ambapo wakulima wanazalisha na hakuna soko. Na ya tatu tunaweza sema kwamba ni kwamba labda ingefaa zaidi tuangalie ni njia zipi ambazo tutawezesha mkulima wengine waanze kufikiria mambo ya ile tunaita value addition, ya kwamba kunazo namna nyingi ambazo mkulima anaweza ongezea ubora katika zile zao. Tuseme kama mkulima ambaye anafanya kazi ya dairy farming, labda awe na ujuzi ya kuweza kubadilisha ile maziwa fresh na akatengeneza yogurt na vitu vingine. Itachangia pia kupunguza ile hali. Kwa hivyo ni baadhi ya mambo ambayo yatahitajika, lakini cha muhimu ni kwamba lazima tuangalie ile knowledge gap, ya kwamba yule mkulima lazima awezeshwe katika ile hali ya kuweza kujua mbinu mbalimbali, na pia hali ya ile hali ya kuweza kupata financial support ama services, ambapo anaweza pata tuseme loans ama nini, ambapo mkulima anaweza wekeza na kuweza kuanza kufanya mambo kama yale nimesema, kwamba value addition na mambo kama yale. Nafikiria itachangia pakubwa kupunguza ile post harvest loss ambayo kwa sasa ni changamoto kubwa katika taifa.
Usalama wa hifadhi wa nafaka, manake sana utasikia mahindi labda si salama kwa sababu ilikuwa na sumu na mambo kama yamekuwa. Hata wakati mwingine nafaka ambayo kwa katika ile tunasema gala za kuhifadhi nafaka na mazao NCPB. Sijui utasemaje kuhusiana hilo Bi Florence? Hebu nikushirikishe katika Bi Dorothy Konrad, nikushirikishe katika hili.
Asante sana Dora. Ni kweli kwamba wakulima saa zingine hupoteza mazao ambao wamezalisha katika ile tunaita post harvest losses, na serikali iko na mpango maalum wa kuaddress hilo swala, sababu ni swala ambalo limekuwa kwa muda mrefu sana. Ukienda katika counties zote 44 utapata serikali imeweka pesa pale kujenga ile tunaita KAIPs ama county aggregation centers, na tuko na kama 13 ambazo tumezipea kipaumbele, na tuna uhakika kwamba by next year zitakuwa tumemaliza kazi ya ujenzi na tumeanza kuzitumia. The reason ya zile KAIPs ama sababu ya kutengeneza zile KAIPs ni sababu ya kujaribu kusuluhisha hilo jambo. Pale kwa zile KAIPs tunatarajia kuwa kutakuwa na mambo ya packaging ama ufungaji wa vyakula, kuziweka katika hali bora ndio ziweze kupelekwa kwa soko. Alafu pia kutakuwa na usindikaji wa mazao ama agroprocessing. For example, ama kwa mfano tuseme mkulima amezalisha sunflower for example. Sunflower badala ya aende soko mbali, pale kwa KAIPs kutawekwa mashine pale. Ile mashine itakuwa inaweza kuproduce mafuta ya kupikia. Okay? Ile mafuta mkulima akienda na mafuta, ile cake ambayo tabaki kwa sunflower itatumika na another agroprocessor mwingine kutengeneza chakula cha ng'ombe. Okay? Kama ni mambo ya maziwa, kuna mashirika ambayo yametengenezwa na serikali si wafanyi biashara, ya wakulima. Badala ya wauze maziwa yao ikiwa ile raw, wako na coolers mahali kuna barafu ndio kuna kuhifadhi maziwa kuhifadhi maziwa ndio iweze kukaa kwa muda mrefu kidogo, ndio iweze kwenda kwa soko kama bado iko katika hali nzuri. Alafu kuna lile jambo mwenzangu ametaja la value addition ama kuongeza dhamana ya chakula. Wacha niguzie lile jambo umesema la nafaka. For example, kuna shirika ambalo linaitwa Carlo na ni shirika la serikali na limetengeneza solution ya aflatoxin. Wako na product inaitwa Aflasave. Na labda mwenzangu hapa katika hawa watu wa mashirika ya kiserikali juu pia wanafanya kazi na wakulima kwa karibu, wanaweza kuambia wakulima wao kuna ile solution imetengenezwa pale na Carlo na iko ready na inaweza tumika kwa kusaidia wakulima. Pia kuna mambo mengine ambayo yamewekwa kwa mambo ya kuhifadhi chakula. For example, wakulima wa samaki, wafugaji wa samaki, ile tunaita blue economy. Kuna mambo ambayo pia yametengenezwa pale kuprovide wale wavuvi na vifaa vya barafu vya kuhifadhi samaki, ndio wale wavuvi waweze kuuza chakula chao kikiwa katika hali nzuri. So serikali imejaribu kwa namna nyingi sana kujaribu kutengeneza hayo mambo, na pia wakulima wa viazi, wakulima wa viazi pia wamepewa cold storage ndio waweze kuhifadhi chakula chao. Na pia ni mzuri Dora, pia niguzishe, ukienda katika hii nchi kwa sasa utapata ujenzi mwingi sana wa masoko ukiendelea, na zile soko sio soko tu, zile soko zitakuwa na cold rooms, barafu pia, kuweza ndio yule mfanyabiashara ambaye ako pale akiuza mboga zake na ashindwe kumaliza hiyo siku, asipate kesho yake zimethofika na haziwezi kuuzwa, ataweka pale kwa cold room, ndio kesho yake aje anze kuuza na aendelee na kuprevent ama kuzuia hiyo kuharibika kwa chakula. So serikali iko macho sana kwa hayo mambo na tunaipea kipaumbele sana ndio tuweze kusaidia mkulima wetu.
Najua mambo ni mengi na tuweze tukamaliza, tunajaribu sana kugusa machache tu katika siku hii ya leo tukizungumzia masuala ya usalama wa chakula, lakini kinachojitokeza mnapozungumza Bi Dorothy na Bwana Frederick ni kwamba tunapozungumzia usalama wa chakula tuongee mambo ya mahindi, ya ugali. Tuongee tu mambo ya ugali. Maana Kenya tuala ugali sana, sio? Tuzungumzie vyakula vyote kwa jumla.
Kabisa.
Kwa hivyo Mkenya sifikiri kama mkulima tunazungumzia mambo tu ya mahindi peke yake na ugali.
Ni chakula chote.
Na nafurahi sana ulivyotaja masuala ya uchumi samawati ama blue economy pia, maana umetaja wale wakulima wafugaji wa samaki. Muda si mrefu tutakuwa tumshirikisha pia msikilizaji akaweza kusema jambo na akaleta maswali yake, lakini kabla tuongee kuhusu vile mbolea hiyo ya ruzuku labda saidia katika kuzalisha chakula zaidi. Wacha nije kwako Bwana Frederick. Umetaja mambo mengi sana ambayo yanamgusa mkulima. Na sijui hizi changamoto zinashughulikiwa vipi na mnapendekeza vipi pia kama mashirika mengine yasiyokuwa ya serikali na vile mnafanya kazi na serikali. Kwa mfano umetaja mambo ya udongo wetu, maana kwa sasa mkulima hawezi kupanda pasipo mbolea, na hata kupanda tu sucha lazima uweke mbolea. Juzi ndio niligundua hata kupanda wimbi lazima utumie mbolea. Wajua, kuna masuala ya mbegu ambayo pia wakulima wengi wanang'ang'ana nayo, mbegu ambayo ni bora, ile certified ambayo wanaweza kutumia katika mashamba yao. Na vile vile hapo masuala ambayo pia umeyataja kama vile mambo ya soko, kuna wale ambao wanalima lakini soko inakuwa ni tatizo, na mambo mbalimbali. Changamoto hizi zote hasa mbegu kwa mkulima, mambo ya udongo huu ambao lazima atumie mbolea. Kwenda mbele, vipi tutafanya? Tunaweza kupunguza kutegemea mbolea sana, maana wapo wale watasema mbolea kuipata gharama, japo serikali hapa imetusaidia kupunguza bei ya mbolea.
Asante sana Dora, na nafikiria nitarejelea nililosema pale awali kwamba tumo safarini, tuseme hivyo. Serikali, wadau wote tumo safarini. Nafikiria kuna juhudi mbalimbali ambayo yanaendelea. Mengi yameelezwa na Bi Dorothy ya kwamba kunazo baadhi ya miradi ambazo zinaendelea. Na hapa awali nilisema kwamba pia imefika wakati ambapo tunajaribu kuwaza zaidi. Mbona hivi vitu vyote tumefanya muda mrefu na labda tupati ile suluhu thabiti? Na ndio tunasema kwamba ni vyema tuangalie upya tena mfumo wa kilimo. Na hili jambo sio tu jambo ambalo linafanyika nchini hapa Kenya pekee, lakini jambo ambalo tuseme kwa jumla katika mataifa mbalimbali ya Afrika na hata bara zingine, na ni kwamba tunajaribu kuangalia je ni njia zipi tutaweza kufuatilia ili tuweze kupata ama kuweza kupata kilimo ama kufanya kilimo ambayo ni endelevu na kile ambacho tunasema ni sustainable. Kwa mfano udongo ambao nimeguzia hapo awali ni kwamba zimeathirika sana hapa Kenya, na ni kwa sababu tumetumia mbolea na mara nyingi pia zimetumika katika njia ambazo sio vizuri. Kwa hivyo kuna ile bado ni shida tuseme ile knowledge gap. Mbolea ipo lakini mkulima anapotumia labda hajatumia vizuri. Na pia sio wakulima wote labda wangependa kutumia zile tuseme mbolea za viwandani, synthetic inputs. Na yule mkulima basi ni njia zipi ambazo ataweza kuwezeshwa ndio aweze, kama angetengeneza yake binafsi nyumbani anazafanyaje. Kwa hivyo atahitaji apewe ile elimu ya kwamba ikiwa sitapata mbolea fulani ama ningependa kutumia njia nyingine, basi je, niko na ile ujuzi. Na ni kwamba udongo zetu zimeathirika pakubwa na nisema kwamba kilimo inaanzia pale. Kwa hivyo ikiwa tuko na ile hali ambayo ni changamoto sana, lazima tuangazie kabisa. Na ndiyo maana sasa tunasema kwamba kuna njia za kiasili ambazo ni muhimu tuyazingatie pia tunapoangalia hali ya soil health. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa hivi ukisoma ile mkakato ya kilimo ekolojia ambayo ilichapishwa hapo mwaka jana, yanaangazia mambo haya yote kwamba lazima tuangalie, we have to integrate njia mbalimbali kurudisha hali ya udongo. Kwa hivyo kilimo itaanzia pale ikiwa tutapata kabisa suluhu. Pili ni kwamba nafikiri ameguzia sana mambo ya soko na nisema kwamba pia tutazingatia mambo ya soko ili ya kwamba mkulima aweze kupata haki yake. Kwa sababu pia ni jambo la muhimu sana, kwa sababu mimi kama mkulima mimi ni mwekezaji. Kwa hivyo lazima ile kilimo iwe ni kwamba nikiezeka ama nikiinvest katika kilimo fulani, tuseme poultry ama dairy ama maize farming, lazima ni kwamba mwisho lazima napata faida. Na ikiwa haitakuwa hivyo, basi inamaanisha kwamba hali ya yule mkulima itaendelea kuathirika kabisa. Kwa hivyo lazima tumwezeshe yule mkulima katika mbinu zote. Na mfumo ni mfumo wa kilimo, ni tunaangalia tuangazia zile kanuni 13 za kilimo ekolojia. Tunaangazia hali ya udongo, afya ya udongo, tunaangazia mambo ya ile recycling, ya kwamba katika shamba mkulima tunasema kwamba kuna waste. Ikiwa ni samadi ya ng'ombe sio waste. Ile samadi unaweza tumia ikawa upate tena ni mbolea, upate gesi katika ile samadi na mambo kama yale. Tunaangazia mambo ya trade na justice. Tunaangalia ile hali ya kufanya kazi kwa pamoja, collaborative approaches, ya kwamba lazima tuangazia kwamba sisi kama wadau wote tunashirikiana kivipi. Kwa hivyo kilimo sio tu kuangalia tu njia moja, na labda ndio maana tujapata kule kufaulu. Kwa sababu mara nyingi tunaangalia kwamba ni njia zipi tutafanya, kwamba labda tuwezeshe mkulima kupata mbolea, na akipata ile mbolea basi atakuja kuzalisha. Ili hali kuna baadhi ya mambo mengi sana ambazo zitachangia yule mkulima aweze kufaulu asifaulu. So mambo haya yote lazima yaangaliwe kwa jumla. Kwa hivyo kilimo ekolojia inaangalia mambo haya yote katika upana kwa zaidi. Nafikiria tukifaulu katika ile hali, kwa sababu tunaangalia the entire ecosystem of agriculture. Na tukifaulu katika mambo yale yote, basi tutakuja kupata njia ambayo boresha hali ya kilimo na ile kilimo ambayo tutasema ni sustainable.
Okay. Shikilia pale. Nafikiri siku nyingine utakuja tuangazie kilimo ekolojia kwa ndani, agroecology, ambapo watu wengi wanaelekea pale ili mwananchi aweze kuelewa vizuri tunatoka wapi tukienda wapi, maana yake tunatafuta suluhu za kudumu. Na ningependa tuende upande wa pili, na muda si mrefu tutakuwa tunachukua mapumziko, hasa upande wa TV tukaweza kupata shughuli zingine zikiendelea upande wa pili, lakini upande wa redio basi tutapokea simu kutoka kwa wasikilizaji ambao pia kama wana maswali yao wanaweza wakapiga simu live, ama pia msikilizaji na mtazamaji unaweza kwenda kwa mitandao yetu ya kijamii ukaweze kuzungumza nasi kuhusiana na swala hili ambalo tunagusia asubuhi ya leo. Usalama wa chakula, basi studioni ninaye bwana Freddy Kocheng ambaye yeye basi ni mtaalamu wa masuala ya chakula kutoka Devolution Africa Trust, na vile vile ninaye Bi Dorothy Nditi ambaye yeye pia anasimamia kitengo cha usalama wa chakula kutoka afisi ya naibu rais hapa nchini Kenya. Kwa hivyo upande wa televisheni tunaweza tukaendelea na shughuli zingine, lakini upande wa redio naomba basi kama tunaweza tukavalia hivi tupokee simu kama 4. Tafadhali msikilizaji, swali lako kwa ufupi, punguza sauti yako ya redio unapokuja hewani, alafu itakuwa sawa. Mwenzangu Cynthia, kama unaweza nisaidia kupokea simu chache.
Kabisa na kupata vizuri Dora Manya, mazungumzo mazuri sana hapo na wageni wetu kuhusiana na masuala ya usalama wa chakula. Kwa hivyo naweza kupiga simu msikilizaji, nambari yetu ni 0700176699. Radio Taifa, hello. Yes, Radio Taifa. Yes.
Ujambo Singa Nyango.
Mzuri sana, karibu. Swali lako ni gani?
Nashukuru. Nauliza hivi, mimi ni mkulima mdogo. Hii mbolea tunaandikiwa kwa message tuendee kwa serial bond. Ukienda kwa serial bond unaambiwa toa photocopy ya kitambulisho, sijui ufanye nini, ulipe pale kupakuliwa, ulipe tena kupepewa. Inakuwa gharama kuliko hata kununua dukani. Tutafanyaje ndio tuweze kujimundu? Maana mtu anatabika sana na hiyo mbolea kupata.
Aya, asante sana Mariam. Radio Taifa, hello. Naam. Yes.
Jambo, habari ya mgeni?
Salama, nakusikia.
Ni baba maza wajatu kwa urembo kutoka Judicial wangaka mpakani. Sasa kwa upande wa mbolea, mimi nimeshukuru serikali imetusaidia, lakini sasa kitu tungefanya, alafu sasa mimi naona pole ni lazima zingine inatusumbua. Napata watu wengine wako na shida mbalimbali kwa mili zao. Kwa hivyo kitu hilo wangefanya watuletee, yaani sisi wenyewe tutoe pesa, wengine watuletee kama kwa sendo ya jibu, labda wanasema watu fulani tutoe pesa ya mafuta ya gari, alafu mbolea inakuja tunatoa, hivyo ingekuwa vizuri.
Asante.
Pili, kwamba kwa upande wa mahindi walisema wametutengenezea bei kwa sababu hiyo ni yote ni agriculture. Wangetusaidia hiyo mahindi vile waliteremsha bei, mbegu waweke kwa mbele, wachapishe mbegu hiyo ni yaani bei yake hiyo kwa mbegu, ili hao watu wasikinyanyaze wakati tunanunua mbegu. Afadhali pamoja. Halo, Sindia Nyango.
Yes, ongea na Dora Manya.
Nataka nimuulize huyo Vincent kwanza kutoka hapa Nakuru. Nataka nimuulize kwamba anazungumziaje ile swala la mbolea kuwekwa mchanga, na unaonaje kwa future hii mambo itatokea ama itakuwaje?
Safi, swali moja la mwisho.
Naona maswali hayo yametosha Dora, labda muweze kuendelea.
Shukrani sana Cynthia upande wa pili wa studio, na wageni wangu hapa studio, natumai mmepata hayo maswali. Tuna dakika chache takriban kama 10 na hata tujafika nusu ya majadiliano. Tulikuwa tuanzie pale kwa mbolea. Kwanza kabisa kwa ufupi tumeibi dakika moja utatueleza tangu serikali kuleta mbolea ruzuku ama ile subsidized fertilizer kupunguza bei, imeongeza vipi kiwango cha uzalishaji wa chakula ama usalama wa chakula hapa nchini? Alafu sasa haya masuala mengine yote yamegusia yako hapo kwa mbolea. Kwa ufupi sana.
Asante. Kupatiana kwa mbolea ruzuku kwa serikali kumechangia pakubwa, na hata wenye wamepiga simu wamesema mbolea wanataka, wako na haja nayo, labda ni ile tu swala la distribution ama swala la kuwafikia karibu. Mbolea inasaidia kuzalisha chakula. Kwa sasa ukiangalia ile mambo ya ugali ambayo tulikuwa tunasumbuliwa nayo, bei ya unga, tunaona imekuwa stable kwa takriban mwaka moja sasa. Hatujakuwa na expenses ya juu sana kwa unga, so tunaendelea tu kustabilize tukiendelea kuzalisha. Hii mambo ya mbolea, kama mwenzangu alivyosema, tuko katika safari. Wakati tulianza huu mfumo wa kupeana mbolea ulikuwa na changamoto mingi sana, lakini kwa sasa tunaendelea kupunguza yale mashida ambayo yako moja baada ya ingine. Kama hili jambo la kwenda kwa cereal board, tuligundua kwamba wakazi wengine wako mbali sana na ile cereal board. Kwa hivyo tunafanya ile tunaita last mile. Na hiyo ni jukumu la counties. Many counties zenye wale counties ambao wako proactive wametengeneza mpango wa kuleta mbolea karibu na wakulima wao katika ile last mile distribution. For example, kama wakulima wa kahawa hawapati yao pale kwa cereal board, wanapata kwa cooperative society mahali wanakuza kahawa yao, ambao distance ni karibu na mahali wanaishi. Kwa hivyo this is work in progress, na tunaendelea vizuri kwa hilo jambo. Kuna jambo lingine limeongelelewa la mbolea kuwekwa mchanga. Nafikiri hiyo ni jambo ambalo limepitwa na wakati. Kwa sasa wakulima walipata mbolea mzuri na wanaendelea.
Kwa hivyo nahakikishia kuna mbolea wanaipokea sasa
iko sawa. Mbolea iko salama, sijasikia malalamishi. Hata huyu mwenye ameuliza aliuliza kwa past tense. Na ilikuwa kwa jest, I think. Ni pia alikuwa mtu funny. Alikuwa anataka kuchekesha watu kidogo, lakini ni sawa. Ili lingine jambo la seeds niliguzia pale mbeleni kusema kwamba tuko na mpango pale Galana Kulalu kukuza seed maize, ndio certified seed bei yake ikuje chini kidogo, kwa sababu tumeona kwa muda bei ya seeds imekuwa ama bei ya mbolea, bei ya mbegu imekuwa juu sana. So hilo ni jambo ambao pia linashughulikiwa, na najua huyo msikilizaji amesema jambo la bei ya mahindi. Bei ya mahindi kwa mkulima sasa kuuza. Lakini kuna jambo moja mimi huwa naambia wakulima. Huwa ninawaambia kama mahindi ilikuwa shilingi 4,000 mwaka uliopita, labda kwa sababu ya market forces, the law of demand and supply, ile kitu mkulima anafaa kuangazia ndio aweze kujua kama ako na faida ama hana faida, ni ile tunaita cost of production. Kwa sababu kama cost of production iko chini, bora tu uuze more than chenye ulitumia kuproduce, umetengeneza pesa yako. Sio lazima iwe, sababu kuna wakati mahindi ilikuwa 5,000, bado hii msimu uuze 5,000. Kama ulitumia tuseme 1,500 kuproduce na umeuza 3,000, bado uko na faida pale. So tunaangalia cost of production as opposed kuangalia the cost of the last.
Na ni kweli gharama ya uzalishaji wa chakula hapa nchini iko juu. Wakati mwingine ukipiga hesabu kile ambacho umetoa kwa ekari yako moja, umeng'ang'ana umetumia shilingi 30,000, unapokea mahindi nusu gunia. Bwana Frederick, kuna jambo moja hapo kwa ufupi sana. Kuna mmoja anasema hapa, kitambo tulikuwa na field officers wakitembea kuangalia na kushauri mambo ya kilimo kwa makao yetu. Wakati huo tulikuwa na chakula cha kutosha. What happened? Na nafikiri unaelewa mambo ya field officers. Alafu anasema siku hizi ni kama hata serikali haijalishi na mambo kama hayo. Instead ni kushauri tu kwa mitandao ambayo pia haifikii mkulima wa pale mashinani na kwa mkulima wa kawaida. Anasema no wonder we have all these food challenges. Field extension officers.
Hiyo maoni hayo na yakubaliana nayo kwamba tumepata changamoto sana kwa ile space extension, na ningependa kuguzia tu ya kwamba kunayo juhudi na ambayo serikali mbalimbali nafikia Afrika nzima wakati walipokuja na ile mfumo ama ile program yetu KADIP, ambapo walijitolea walitarajia kwamba kilimo itapata 10% ya zile tuseme the national gross product. Yes, ambapo mataifa mengi wamepiga hatua sana. Kenya ni mojawapo ya nchi ambazo wamejaribu sana. Nafikia kwa sasa katika 6%. Nafikia we are among the top 10. Lakini bado hatujafikia ile 10. Na inamaanisha kwamba katika ile hali ya kuwekeza katika kilimo bado tuko chini kidogo, na nafikia pia imechangia pia kwamba hatujapata maofisa wa ugani wa kutosha. Kwa hivyo hiyo ni ile gap, na nafikiria inalingana na kile nilichosema pale awali ya kwamba knowledge gap bado ipo, na inachangia pia baadhi ya mambo ambayo tumeguzia ya kwamba mkulima asipowezeshwa na ujuzi ama elimu, basi atapungukiwa katika harakati zake za kilimo. Na hilo ni jambo ambalo ni tatizo. Tumejaribu sana kama mashirika mbalimbali tukishirikiana na serikali za county na hata za serikali kuu, ya kwamba sisi kama wadau wote tunajaribu kufikia ile lengo ya kwamba ikiwa niko na rasilimali fulani na ama vipindi fulani, basi kwa pamoja tunafikia wale wakulima. Tumefanya kazi sana na KBC miaka mingi, tukielimisha wakulima kupitia channels mbalimbali. Shoro FM kwa sasa tuko na mpango, tunafanya mafunzo kwa wakulima katika Central Region, Ingo FM na kadhalika. Kwa hivyo kunazo juhudi, ingawa haijatosha. Nafikiria yule anafaa aweze kuelewa hivyo, na ni kwa sababu ya upungufu wa rasilimali.
Nataka tumalizie, muda unanikimbiza sana, labda sekunde 30 nataka kuchangia kitu.
Hilo jambo la field officers. Niliguzia kwamba kuna program ambayo inaitwa Nafsi DP. Iko katika counties 33 kwa Kenya, na kila ward iko na wale tunaita agripreneurs 7 per ward, na wale ni extension officers, lakini hawatakuwa tu wanapeana mambo ya agroeconomy, agronomy, watakuwa pia wanasaidia wale wakulima kuuza mazao yao. Kwa hivyo hilo ni jambo ambalo labda mwenzangu angependa kufuatilia, ajue tuko na extension officers, lakini sasa tuwaiti extension officers, tunawaita agripreneurs.
Wapo na wahisi labda zipo sekta za kilimo ambazo zinapewa kipaumbele kuliko zingine. Kwa mfano tumeona sekta ya kahawa, mageuzi mengi katika ile sekta. Labda utazungumziaje swala hilo, hayo mageuzi katika sekta ya kahawa, na kama serikali mnaangalia sekta zingine zote in equal measure, ama kuna ile tunaangalia tunasema hapa ndo uzito wa chakula cha taifa upo, kwa hivyo tutaangazia hili sana kwa ufupi?
Kahawa ilikuwa na changamoto mingi sana, na ndio maana hii serikali wakati iliingia ilichukulia hili jambo kwa uzito sana, na kuna mageuzi mengi ambayo yamefanyika katika ile sekta, na tumeona kwa sasa wakulima wa kahawa wameweza kulipwa pesa bora sana kushinda yale miaka ingine yote walikuwa wamelipwa. Kuna factories zingine niliona walilipa 140 shillings per kilo, na hilo ni jambo la kufurahia. Sio kwamba ni kahawa tu ambayo inapewa kipaumbele, hata haya mambo mengine tunayapea kipaumbele. Kwa mfano, for the first time, najua ukitembea katika nchi kwa sasa utaona a lot of yellow sunflower imekuwa revitalized, cotton imekuwa revitalized, mambo ya soya beans iko kwa mpango ya kuwa one of the crops yenye tuna revitalize. Tunasema mkulima hataki tu kulima chakula cha kujilisha yeye mwenyewe. Mkulima pia ni biashara, mkulima ni mwekezaji. Kwa hivyo tunaangazia yale mazao ambayo yanaweza kupatia mkulima kitu kwa mfuko.
Naam. Nataka tuelekee kutamasha, lakini nikulete Bwana Frederick tu, na naomba uliseme ili kwa dakika moja tu. Usalama sasa, si tuache uzalishaji chakula, madawa, maana moja ya masuala ambayo sasa yanaathiri wa Kenya ni dawa katika vyakula. Tunanyunyuzia dawa kwa tomato, kuku tunadungwa dawa na mambo kama yale. Sijui utazungumzia swala hilo kama wewe mtaalamu wa masuala ya chakula, na kile ambacho mnafanya kama mashirika yasiyokuwa ya serikali kuhakikisha kwamba hata tunapozungumzia kwamba tuwe na utoshelezaji wa chakula, tuna chakula cha kutosha, lakini pia chakula tunachokila pia ni salama. Tutaanza kuwa na masuala ya kwamba ni wagonjwa kutokana na madawa. Na dakika moja tunao.
Nafikiria ile jambo la guzia ile, ama tuseme sehemu ya tatu ya tunapoangalia maana ya food security, kwa sababu safety ni mojawapo. Kwa hivyo inamaanisha kwamba zile mbinu tunavyotumia kuzalisha lazima ya kwamba pia na zingatia umuhimu ya ubora na afya ile chakula, usalama ile chakula. Na ni kweli kumekuwa na changamoto, na ndivyo nilivyosema kwamba pale ya kwamba mkulima pia ni vizuri aweze kuelimishwa zaidi, kuweza kujua kwamba ikiwa nitatumia tuseme hivi inputs, kemikali za labda kunyunyuzia ili kukabiliana na matatizo ya magonjwa na wadudu, basi ni yale ambayo yamekubalika, na kama hata tumia yale, basi pia yule mkulima awezeshwe kupata mbinu tofauti za kiasili, ambapo sisi kama Vision Africa Trust tumeegezea sana kufunza mkulima njia mbadala zile za kiasili, ambapo hata ukinyunyizia mboga leo, hata jioni utachuna na uweze kutumia pasipokuwa na hofu yoyote. Na nafikiria pia ningependa kupongeza hatua serikali imechukua juzi, na pia kupitia waziri, ambapo aliweza kutoa ama kuban zile 77 chemicals ambazo hazikubaliki kwa sababu yametambulika kwamba yako na athari kubwa sana katika afya ya mwanadamu. Nafikiri kwa hivyo ni mambo ambayo kwa jumla sisi wote tunaangazia na ni muhimu sana.
Kwa hivyo kwa mbele tunaweza kuwa na chakula cha kutosha hapa nchini.
Inawezekana
tukiangalia hizo changamoto na tuweze kuzizingatia.
Inawezekana kwa ushirikiano, nafikiria, na ndio nilisema kwamba tumo safarini na hivi sasa tunafurahia kwamba kwa pamoja tunafanya kwa siri na pamoja na serikali kuu na za county kwa pamoja na kuangalia hali ya kuangalia mifumo zetu za kilimo na nafikiria kupitia mambo yale tutapata suluhu ambayo tutaridhika.
Asante. Naona Bidora tena niambia kidogo tu sekunde 30 sauti ya serikali kuhusu kilimo tunapoondoka.
Kenya ni nchi ambayo uko na rotuba mzuri. Tuko na nchi kubwa sana. Hata tuko na nchi kubwa mahali uko north ambayo haijalimwa kwa sasa na tunaelekea huko. Kenya in the next few years hatutakuwa tu tunazalisha chakula cha kutumia hapa, tutakuwa pia tuna export mazao kutoka hii nchi.
Naam.
Kuna uwezekano.
Naam. Shukrani sana. Nafikiri kwa sababu ya muda mtanruhusu tukomee pale kwa leo, lakini ni mjadala ambao tunaweza kuendeleza tukiangalia masuala kadha wa kadha kuweza kuangazia japo katika usalama wa chakula. Lakini nashukuru kwamba amefika Bi Dorothy ambaye unasimamia masuala kitengo cha usalama wa chakula katika afisi ya naibu rais. Asante kufika.
Asante.
Na vile vile asante bwana Fredrick Ochieng ambaye pia ni mtaalamu kutoka pale Devolution Africa Trust kwa kuweza kufika katika studio zetu. Muendelee pia kuwafahamisha wakulima mengi na vile vile kuelimisha.
Asante.
Asante. Na kwa wewe mtazamaji na msikilizaji kufuatilia mjadala huu na kutupatia kauli zako katika mitandao tunashukuru. Vile vile asante wote ambao wamefanikisha makala haya, akiwemo mwelekezi wangu Mato, wapiga picha wangu hapa studioni, vile vile wale ambao wamezalisha kipindi hiki, Dennis Chisaka, Nancy Kemunto na vile vile Wamoi Masila. Shukrani sana. Mimi naitwa Dora. Basi tupatane upande wa pili wa studio za Radio Taifa.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
Chikati, You'd better know how to greet the locals if you're heading to the Uganda for the African Nations Championship, which they are co-hosting with Kenya and Tanzania, where Simbo Jambo or Habari will do. But for now, let's unpack a group C where we have the favorites, Algeria, the talented, gifted players are from Guinea, and of course Niger, who can be very frustrating, not forgetting South Africa with their home-based talent. And that is what CHAN is all about. I'm Abinya Musa.
Group C matches will be hosted at the Mandela Stadium in Uganda, and the Cranes will be more than happy to have that home support to go past the group stage, which has been their home in all their 6 appearances, with the previous one being in 2022, where they missed by a whisker after tying for all with Ivory Coast in Group B, but with an inferior goal aggregate. They have only come closer to a continental trophy in the Africa Cup of Nations way back in 1978, where they were runners-up to reach the round of 16 in 2019. They have at least been successful in the CECAFA region with 15 trophies, and now they need to make another significant stride in the Africa Nations Championship as co-host.
Oh well. I think the Eritreans are in trouble here. That was an obvious push to Johnny Serenkuma, and a penalty has been awarded. Well, the experience shows here, and Uganda are 2 goals ahead here. Eritrea backtracking a bit, backpedaling, and Johnny Serenkuma picks up that loose ball. He is watching the defenders following him, but he's much into the box and cuts it across, and they have been punished for that mistake again.
بأي كيفية وبأي طريقة بعدما قاد العملية ثم رجعت له من عند رفيقه مصطفى جليت مثل ما جاءت يسددها بروعة في الزاوية اليمنى من مرمى الحارس حمزة مونجي.
The Uganda Cranes have met Algeria in the 2011 CHAN, where they lost all their matches as the North Africans proceeded to the knockout stages to beat South Africa 2-0, to beat their North African rivals Algeria in the semis and reach the third place playoff, where they finished 4th after a solitary goal defeat by Sudan. The Desert Warriors of Algeria came closer to winning the Africa Nations Championship in 2022 when they finished runners-up as hosts, to be beaten in the finals in a penalty shootout against eventual winners Senegal. They can at least boast of 2 trophies in the Africa Cup of Nations in 1990 and 2019, while reaching the round of 16 in the 2014 FIFA World Cup in a fantastic campaign. The 2021 Arab Cup champions are one of the favourites for the 2024 CHAN title in their second appearance. And talking about South Africa, the Bafana Bafanas have made 2 appearances in the African Nations Championship, first in 2011 when they reached the quarterfinals to lose 2-0 to Algeria and drop out in the group stage in 2014 as host in what must have been a heartbreaker for their home fans, but at least they beat Mozambique 3-1 and drew 1-1 with Mali in Cape Town. The 1996 Africa Cup of Nations champions, who finished 3rd in 2000 and 2023 editions, are more successful in the COSAFA region with 5 titles and have made 3 appearances in the FIFA World Cup finals to say to CN in the group stage. So they're capable of advancing in the knockout stage of CHAN, having learned their lessons.
And a very good morning to you from the Ulinzi Sports Complex. My name is Daniel Wahome alongside
Greg Mulemi.
And this is the live broadcast of the trials for the World Athletics Championships Tokyo 2025. And we are going that was dominated by Sylvia Kibet and being Madam under 14. We've got Agnes Chebet, Ngetich, Janet Ngetich, Miriam Chebet, Gladys Kwamboka. We also have got Rebecca Mwangi and Joy Cheptoyek. 20 5 laps on this track. And Greg, the entry standards for this, as we get into it, because we also have got the long jump men that's coming up.
Crazy stuff here, because you look at this line, 7 elite athletes in this one. Of course, just before we get into the entry standards, a very unique story from Joy Chepyotok, the Ugandan, the lone Ugandan in this race, and that promises to be a very good race. And I'm looking at the entry standards for the 10,000 meters. It seems like all this lineup has what it takes to qualify for the World Athletics Championships to be held in Tokyo 2025, because we are looking at a time of 30 minutes, 20 seconds for one to at least to Tokyo 2025. Third on, of course, Beatrice Chebet, we're talking about her after what she's done, of course, breaking the world record in the 5,000 meters just over 3 weeks ago. And this is something that will be talked about every single day until someone else tries to break it.
And remember that when it comes to the 10,000 qualification already done at the Prefontaine Classic, and that was, out in the stateside, so the team has already been picked up. So this is for the 10,000 meters women, and also we are going to see the men's 5,000 meters trials also happening today. Happening alongside this, we have got from South Sudan, Ayub Aliai, Gil Kimoy and Isaac Kirwa in the men's long jump. They're the athletes, and past the line, and one other who's going to be picked based on selection. One athlete who would have loved to be here but is missing, and for very blessed reasons, is Margaret Chelimo. So she's taken a break.
Yeah,
with the blessings on
the blessings, of course. She's one of the athletes who have really shown over the years, and of course given Beatrice Chebet competition, stiff competition in this race, of course, the 10,000 meters. But you look at how this lineup is that we might miss Miriam, but then we look at how Beatrice Chebet has dominated. Look at her performances in Paris. Look at what she did in Prefontaine just over 3 weeks ago, and then you look at the likes of who's really shaped up for this. Looking at the weather conditions in Nairobi, quite chilly, and I know this might affect one or two athletes because I was just talking to some of the athletes earlier on in the morning, some of them who are doing the shake-up. They were like, it's too cold, I don't know if you're going to manage it. But something funny about Ulinzi complex is that this stadium is so cold in the morning, but then when it hits at around 10 a.m. East Africa time, it becomes so, at least the weather becomes quite warm. Of course, the humidity is there because of the rains that have been there in Nairobi over the last few weeks. So this is going to be a very challenging weather for these athletes, but then we expect the best, as we've always seen them to be in the last few events. Remember the national trials?
2023 World Cross Country Championships. So you can see that she's up there, doesn't want anyone to interfere with her cadence. Also keeping tabs on her is Janet Chepngetich, who at the moment is the one who's right at the front.
Janet, of course, she's the most experienced runner here, born in 1998. So she's been here, and of course, she's just shown that she has what it takes to represent Kenya at the highest level. So looking at her, of course, coming into this one with a personal best of 30 minutes, 4.97 seconds. So this is a pedigree field, and of course, Beatrice Chebet in third place. She knows how to track from the back, but she has very, very, very blistering pace when it comes to the last stages of any race that she's been participating in.
And so when you look at the standards that have been set by these athletes, 28.46 over in Valencia, one of the places considered to be quite fast. It's something that you can take away from all of these athletes. And you can see they're so close to each other, three of them. And going by the entry standards, if you look at Janet, 30.04, a 30.32 is also a good time. And remember, they are running at altitude. And despite the chilly weather, and also remember that the structure of the Ulinzi Sports Complex, it's off the plains, just close to the National Park, and the fact that every stand is on its own, standalone stands, so to say, then that means that a lot of wind cuts through. But it can be chilly, but overall, it's July. This is what you call normal weather.
Normal weather in July, because you look at it's always the winter for Kenya in July. So cold weather expected, of course, a few rains, and of course we are doing at 6 minutes right now, looking at how well they place themselves. Look at them. Nobody has really taken matters into their own hands. You look at how they've been running close to each other. Of course, the two Yetiks in the lead at the moment, Beatrice Chebet in third place. And of course, we'll be looking at the splits after each and every lap on this race. Remember, we're live from the Ulinzi Sports Complex, the venue for the national trials. It's 19 laps to go in this one. So it's still early days, Wahome, and you look at how it is. Nobody is daring to make a move at this hour.
Well, the fact that they are in single file and there are only 7 athletes in this should tell you everyone's taking the pace easy, relaxed. And if you ask 7 athletes in a women's 10,000 meter race, 1 Ugandan and 6 Kenyans, it's the criteria that has been set out with the country as a category A risk listed nation by World Athletics. So it's the number of out-of-competition tests that every athlete must have taken, and there was a cut-off date for that. You must have met the entry standards. There is a cut-off date for that, and after that, get invited by Athletics Kenya. That's why we only have got 6 for this.
And to talk about the last 6 laps, they've done let's say an average of 1 minute per lap. So that means that it's quite challenging at the moment, because it looks to be too slow, but now we're really taking shape with 18 laps to go. So you look at how well it's placed. It's like nobody.
Yeah, with 8:36 and with 7 laps done now, at 6 laps we were at 7:25. So 1 minute 11 seconds, call it 71 seconds a lap, is what we're looking at.
And this will favor Beatrice Chebet, that I can tell you, because she knows how to mark time, walk in the strides, run in the strides, check on the shoulders, and of course she really knows how to time it. So I hope they have something very special lined up against the Olympic champion Beatrice Chebet in this one, because she likes such. Because when it reaches, let's say it clocks 12 laps or something, you're gonna see a difference. But then there is
one athlete has been dropped, and that was just after only 7 laps as they get to the 8 lap mark, 3,200 meters. So we've got Cheptoek, we've got Rebecca Mwangi, so it looks like Gladys Kwamboka is out of this.
Gladys Kwamboka had a good outing during the national trials, and I really expected her to challenge the likes of Beatrice Chebet and, of course, Agnes Jebet. But then you look at this, on tail it looks really slow. 1:11. That's really fast. That can fit into an 800-meter timing.
Women, I mean, if they were to do 800 meters, that would be 2 minutes 22. So that is a time that you see with the younger athletes, given that the 800 meters now is a 2-minute thing. 10:30 on the clock as they are going round their back, going into the home stretch now. Still in single file, the cadence that we are seeing from Janet Jepngetich and Agnes Jebet.
Agnes
quite
Jebet, the long strides really help her. We saw what she did at the national trials with 16 laps to go. You can just see that everyone doesn't want to take a risk. A single file up to this moment tells you that maybe nobody wants to take that risk and, of course, give Beatrice Chebet that advantage because she has blistering pace that can actually outshine all these athletes when it comes to the crucial stages of this one. But you can feel the legs are already starting to tire for some of these athletes. Talking about Rebecca Mwangi, she's falling way back just a little bit. I think the pace has started increasing a little bit as they get halfway into this one.
And you can see that is right at the back straight, going into that bend, looking for a way now to make their way. The field is now down to 5. The selectors panel having their work made easier by any moment, but at every moment that comes. So it's Janet Ngetich. 31:34.83 for Agnes Jepngetich in the 10,000 meters. That's the legal mark, which means that she has got to, improve on that time and meet the entry standard, which has been set at 30 minutes 20 seconds. It's a tall order, given that this is everything to do with the rankings.
And of course, you look at the number of slots given. Look at 10,000 meters, only 27 athletes will be in Tokyo. So, first of all, get the time and then be among the 27 globally. So it's quite tough. And of course, you look at how well it is. I believe it will be, let's make it faster, post faster times, and then hope that we'll be among the 27 picked for Tokyo 2025.
Everything so telling as they now get past the start line with 14 laps to go, 11 done. That's 4,400 meters, 5,600 meters to go. We're now down to a field of 5. Dropped out after just 7 laps.
Just looking at the Ugandan, Joy Chepkotek. Of course, she has 2 national records in the road race, the 10-kilometer road race, and of course the 5-kilometer road race, both set in 2023 and 2024. And of course, she has a personal best of 1 hour 8 minutes in the marathon, the half marathon. So she's an athlete who, and that's very pivotal when it comes the latter stages of this race. So still 5 very good athletes in this one. Of course, 2 drop Kwamboka and of course Rebecca Mwangi. But then you look at this is one of the most competitive races I've watched over the years because the single file still remains and the pace is still the same.
And you can't take it away from them. 12 laps done. That is 4,800 meters. The halfway point will be where the start of the 200 meters normally would be. That would be a good indicator of how fast they're running as they now get to the point where they reach the back straight. So one point, just make sure that we're able to identify the time on the clock as they get to that 200-meter mark. And this will be at the pace of 15 minutes 20. If they hold on to that, we're looking at 30 minutes 40 seconds. And remember, there is also that kick that comes in the final lap.
Exactly. So we might be doing a 21 or 28.
30-20.
30-20. 30-20 is the standard entry time, but then look at Beatrice Chebet. I think she'll be like, I can, let's say, burst the pace, let's say with 2 laps to go. You never know. But then you look at the likes of Agnes Jebet, very good also in the last 800 meters. So these are athletes who know exactly when to kick. They, of course, they're checking on their watches to see the time they posted after this one. Of course, with 12 laps to go, 16:01 into this one. So you're talking about 30. You can do around 30:11. That is a possibility, and that will be well within the time required to make into Team Kenya for the World Athletics Championships.
Well, taking a look at this field, you can see that Miriam Chebet is being dropped, and the field is now down to 4.
Lactic acid has already started pouring in. So, as when you talk to experts, they say that she might have specialized in the 5,000 meters, but trying out in the 10,000 meters because you look at the endurance. More of the 5,000 meters than the 10,000 meters because they're just halfway into this race.
Trying to go through some of the fastest times over the 10,000 meters women that have been run.
That should be up there.
Wait, actually, in Nairobi.
In Nairobi?
The fastest time is 30 minutes 53.60 by Helen Obiri. And that was in 2021. And so the question we're asking is, what records are going to go down today?
A national record?
National record is the world record. Beatrice Chebet holds the world record, 28:54.14.
And then you realize the 30:53, the best time ever posted on Kenyan soil, is not enough or sufficient to make a cut into Team Kenya for the Worlds.
And right now we have got intent being declared, and 3 athletes now. Agnes Jebet has hit the front. Agnes Jebet hits the front at the moment. In second place is Jack Ngetich, and then we've got Beatrice Chebet. We can see that Joy Cheptoyek is trying to cover the gap, but the up of the pace is very, very important here.
Joy Cheptoyek can be the dark horse in this one because I've seen her racing here in Nairobi. She's really, really good, and they should be worried about her. But then you look at how the Ngetich and of course Beatrice Chebet have lined up for this one. Look at Beatrice Chebet. She looks really strong. She's like ready to pounce on this one, and this is something we can say that she's been doing over the years. Beatrice Chebet, of course, the young assassin, of course, 25 years of age and already conquering the world in different disciplines. You look at how she's checking over her shoulder to see where the Ugandan is and then realizes that maybe this is my time to pounce, but then not yet because so 9 laps to go in this one. This will be very interesting, but then look at how well they are navigating through the last 10 laps of this one. It's really, really, really special. And Chepyotek, I think she better try to catch up with them because what will happen, know Beatrice very well, and I think she's just done that because the moment she decides to leave these athletes to take, let's say, 10 strides, then it will be very difficult for her to catch up. So it's 3 Kenyans and 1 Ugandan in 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And you can see how the pace is happening here with 9 laps to go, 3,600, and we're talking about 16 minutes of running so far. Agnes Ngetich hits the front, holding on to that cape fence. And if you look at all the other athletes who are in the field, Gladys Kwamboka dropped after 6. And we can see that Miriam Chebet is trailing. And just by the looks of it from my commentary position, and when I look at the track, there's a distance of about 40 meters. That's between Cheptoyek and Miriam Chebet. And then there's about another 5 between Beatrice Chebet, Agnes Chebet Ngetich, and Janet Chepngetich. And the order at the moment is the world record holder on the road, somebody who's knocking on the doors to the world records, and the world record holder on the track.
Two athletes who specialize in road races. I'm talking about Ngetich and, of course, Chepyotek, in between track masters. So this is really interesting, and you can see the Ugandan is really trying to catch up. You say it was 5 meters, it's growing into 6 and 7 in a few.
The pace of building up, moment by moment. Around 20:40 with 8 laps to go. And if they hold on to this pace, because the interesting thing is that it is building as they go around the bend at the back straight, and they're going to be taking that turn. Joy Cheptoyek trying to make time for Team Uganda. One of the nations that's also represented here, it's a mix of it. South Sudan also using this event as a build-up for their team.
We last saw Kazakhstan also coming here. So this is because it's a bronze label event that, of course, has been ratified by the World Athletics. Of course, athletes from other countries can always come and try out in this high altitude to see if they can actually post those qualification times. But then what happens if all of them clock under 3 minutes, 20 seconds to finish this race, and all of them, of course, eligible to represent Team Kenya for the Worlds?
So three places available. We know that this is one event where we've really missed out on the medals. We've got to be honest. Good have Sega of Ethiopia, reigning world champion. That's something that's got to be broken. Let's Sinbet Gide taking the silver medal, and bronze medal going with Sonia O'Sullivan. So, in Budapest 2023, Alicia Monson of the US, also because that the short name that was out there. But remember, we also have Irene Kamais who was out there, but there is a lot to beat.
Agnes Chebet Ngetich, of course, she's had a very good 2025 with 6 laps to go in this one. Of course, you remember during the Sirikwa Classic cross-country tour in Eldoret, she won the senior 10-kilometer race in a time of 32 minutes 42 seconds and dominated the race from start to finish. So she knows how to run from the front. Beatrice Chebet, on the other hand, knows how to run from the back. But then I'm looking at Agnes Ngetich, finished second in the 3,000 meters race in Kingston Grand Slam, and then she went ahead to win the 5,000 meters during the 2025 Miami Grand Slam track in a time of 14 minutes 25.80 seconds. And of course, just the other day, she finished second in the 5,000 meters at the Prefontaine Classic, clocking 14 minutes 0.129 seconds. And this was the 3rd fastest time in history in the 5,000 meters. And of course, she finished behind Beatrice Chebet. And of course, this is when Beatrice Chebet broke the world record. So looking at Agnes Ngetich currently in the lead, you can look at how she is well poised to, let's say, earning a slot in the national team, Team Kenya, for the World Athletics Championship, because she's shown the pedigree, and of course, literally, she is a very, very strong athlete. But of course, right now, leading the way, it's Agnes Ngetich. She actually to winning, breaking the world record in the 5,000 meters in Prefontaine. So Agnes Chebet has what it takes to prove that she's among the best in this discipline, Wahome.
Yes, and you can, and whenever you see a field that is this collected, as we now have got just over 5 laps to go. 20 race started at just around 9-7, so we've got about 25 minutes of running. The competition game amongst these athletes is what, if you were to ask me, would really stand out. And the cadence and